Hello, everybody, and welcome to unMadeGaming. It is, of course, Wednesday, and that means we are back for the final season, #final season, #fuck it, of 6 and 20, The Shroud. Back with me today is our usual cast of criminals and ne'er-do-wells, and also Johnny. Speaking of which, Johnny, who are you? What are you doing here? How little prepared are you? And what are we doing tonight?
I think you're the ones who are not prepared, actually. I'm just going to say that right now. I think that you are not prepared at all. My name is Johnny. I'm VideostoreCowboy. I run the VideostoreCowboy channel. I'm also the GM for 6 and 20, etc., etc. I'm looking forward to what happens tonight, guys. So, bring it.
You are not prepared.
I love the Illidan voice. What's the face that's happening right now? Everyone's making some kind of face. I know Slade appreciates that voice because he just started WoW. Speaking of which, Slade, who are you? What are you doing here? And who are you playing tonight?
Hi, I'm Slade. I'm somewhat prepared, and I'm playing Raymond Bowerstone.
I think that should be your tagline for everything. Yeah. Hi, I'm Slade, and I'm somewhat prepared.
Everything. So yeah, I'm looking forward to what happened, considering what happened last week.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna be interesting.
I think you're going to get a right bumming, but that's just me anyway.
You're the only person that knows what happened. I'd love to see what everyone else's reaction is, especially Miss Ginger Ninja. Who are you? What are you doing here? And who are you playing today? Oh, there we go.
My audio cut out. Is it me?
You're good. You're back.
All right. I'm Miss Ginger Ninja. I could hear everything now. And I am not involved in any of the shit that's going on for once. I'm just gonna sit back and judgmentally sip out of this mug.
Well, nope, that's not how I spelled that. Last but definitely not least, Greg, who is back in his house from a tremendous night out to have some casual, lighthearted criminal murder. Greg, who are you? What are you doing here? And who are you playing tonight?
My name is Greg, Grimjack21502 on Twitch and Twitter, but around these parts, I'm known as the Bringer of Rain. Just got back from a flood in a rental property. It was dope as shit because it was 21 degrees and I was with my 71-year-old mom and she had more balls than I ever will handling this catastrophe. But I'm here. I'm playing the Lurk Steam. I'm ready to rock and roll. One of our compatriots may go into prison or something. We'll see all about that. But much like Ginger said, I'm going to sit back. I'm not going to drink out of my mug. I'm going to drink out of this wine glass that I very much earned tonight. And let's see how things go.
Mine's got Baileys.
Yeah. And with that, guys,
mine's got liquor.
I'm going to happily announce that we have a new Cthulhu campaign starting, DM'd by Greg's mom. Before we jump in, guys, I implore you to save my life because I'm apparently going to prison and Johnny has bad things in store for me. You guys can look down along the bottom for the followers, subscribers, and retweets. If we hit any of those goals, everyone on the screen gets bonuses. And if you look down in the donation section below or type in !bit.d, you can see all of the cool things you can donate for while we're live. Johnny, take us away.
Don't you mean take you away?
No.
So, previously on this crazy crew called the Shroud, Nick's outed himself as the Shroud. And I'm thinking that the rest of the crew really doesn't really understand what that actually means yet. However, prior to that, there was a decision put in front of OC. She chose an interesting solution to the problem by having Nyx actually kill Nicholas Penderin. Who is currently being inhabited by Chaos, the big bad of big bads. But there was a race back to Dulskval, and then there was a bit of negotiation around getting his spirit pulled from his body. At which point, we then find ourselves dealing with a bunch of downtime and a bunch of interesting choices in respects to what actually is happening with Nye. Which leads us to the culmination of last week's episode, which was Nyx choosing to go to jail. Just before we start, any regrets? Good, because you're about to. So, Nyx makes his announcement. We fade in there, right? It is did we say it was the council room, I believe, for the city in Charter Hall. Well, there's some serious background noise there. And as we kind of fade into that situation, Bluecoats immediately step up and begin to put Nyx into some sort of like binds of some kind, essentially handcuffs, but something a little bit more strong, or sturdy. And at the same time, begin to move towards Raymond Bowerstone, who is sitting, as among the aldermen at the desk that kind of is around the room. They clearly are coming for you, Raymond. What are you going to do?
Oh, I wasn't expecting this. I'm not somewhat prepared at all. How about...
It's been a week, homie.
I know.
How much time do you need?
I need at least a month.
At the end, they're coming for you, Raymond.
I'm going to stand up
Mm-hmm.
and wait for them to approach.
They come around calling for your arrest as two Bluecoats begin to move on you as the other councilmen, the other aldermen of the districts of Doskval begin to kind of move away, allowing them to gain access towards you.
And what am I under arrest for?
That is to be determined later. Your associate has claimed responsibility for very particular issues. We are going to take you in now.
No, you can take him in. I have no association.
They are grabbing both
with
of your
him.
They are grabbing both of your arms and beginning to arrest you.
I feel like doing the tune for an unhand me.
Guys, your name in Zoom chat is perfect right now.
Oh shit! I didn't change it.
But no one tell everyone what it is. Let chat
No.
chat. Feel free to put out what you think it is.
Chad, it's pretty damn funny, actually.
I'm not going to resist arrest. I'm going to go with them.
Your hands are also bound as they begin to escort you back towards Nyx. Any last words before you're escorted out? Nyx, Bowerstone.
Nope.
Vote for Bowerstone.
Nick
We're going to
stays
cut.
quiet.
We're going to cut because we're now moving into free play. Word gets to OC through her Rook network that Bowerstone and Nyx have been arrested. Bigger information that comes out of that is the fact that Nyx claimed to, and your Rook basically recounts exactly what Nyx said all the way up into the end of saying the Shroud.
Is Steam there with me?
I don't
Or am
know.
I alone?
I don't know. Where's Steve?
I imagine she's at Eden, laying on a table being fed grapes, reading the newspaper.
No, this is in this particular case that your Rook is going to find you specifically at one of your establishments.
Okay, she's on a sofa eating grapes, being fed grapes. Then, so when she'll call to have someone reach out to Steam, like to send like what we would normally do to like reach out to someone at Eden, like post a marking or a note or something on the door.
Okay. So we're gonna cut to that moment, and it's gonna be a short time afterwards with Steve arriving.
I saw the Steam symbol.
It seems our group has the numbers are dwindling around here. Have you heard?
I have not.
It seems, and she'll wave some of the girls away so they don't hear anything. It seems our friend Nyx has taken the blame for everything we've done. And they've also taken Lord Bowerstone, ruler of... And she just puts her hands up.
What's the play? What's Nyx's angle?
I mean, you could beat people up in prison and not, see any punishment. I know he does fancy his fights.
You
If you
didn't
can
know.
call them that. No.
I assumed he didn't tell me, but you didn't know?
Let's be honest, he works for himself. Which is why I keep you as a confidant.
Interesting.
Gods don't meddle in the affairs of mortals. And she just laughs.
He is immortal, though.
Hmm.
So what is our play, OC?
We could break him out, but is it worth it?
No.
I didn't think so. Bowerstone?
He'll get himself out. He's wealthy.
I could send some words to some of the judges.
Our involvement will only complicate matters.
We are seen with him.
I have a question, though. Where are the books?
At Eden.
Are we sure?
Would you like to go check with me?
Very much so.
She'll grab a drink for the road and motion to her girls to.
So
clean
as
up.
you're leaving, a messenger comes in, a courier specifically, delivering an urgent message, and it gets passed along the way to you. And you realize, given the writing on it, there's a sense of urgency in the way it's been written, but you recognize it as the manager of your establishment in Night Market.
Okay.
Do you open it in public?
We'll go back to where we were sitting. She'll put her arm on his shoulder and say, rotting in a cell a moment longer won't hurt them. And she'll walk back to the private room that she was in.
Okay. When you open it up, you find that the note describes a situation that has just happened within the last couple of hours at your establishment, where a number of your pleasure workers were physically attacked while they were shopping in Night Market. And it seems like, according to the recounts of the what is in the notes, your pleasure workers were actually targeted. Nobody else was targeted.
Stay.
Who's sending the note? It's the worker, the manager?
It's the manager of that particular establishment.
She's going to look over to Steam and show it to him. And while he's reading it, we have more pressing matters. I have more pressing matters. This won't take long unless you want to help.
I'll be along.
You know where to find me. And she's going to hop in a carriage and go to that establishment.
Before she leaves, Steam will walk up to the window of the carriage and put his hand on it. And he says,
I'll be there momentarily, but until then, I'll send some help.
and he walks off.
Okay. As the carriage goes off, what is Steam doing?
Steam is going to stop back at the crow's nest.
Mm-hmm.
He is going to send 8 of his best sparrows to help OC in Night Market, and he's going to Eden.
So as you begin to send them off, Gillis catches your eye, kind of nodding at you, looking still a little beaten, but better from all of the heals that he's been receiving through the Physicker that you acquired for him. He motions you off to the side for a private conversation.
Yes, Gillis.
There's some trouble off towards the docks. I sent someone to check it out, and he came back bloody.
Who is it?
Somebody pushing into our territory is the assumption right now. Maybe the billhooks, maybe the wraiths. It's not clear.
Gillis, find me who is encroaching on the docks, and they will stop their advance. That is your job. Point, and I will act.
Okay.
What?
I'm
What
sorry.
else is it, Gillis?
It's It's the woman. She's scaring everyone. Voice changes. She gets angry.
Don't we all? What scares her about you, Gillis? Does she scare you?
No, but I've seen worse.
Of course you have. What do the others fear about her? The voices?
She's unpredictable. She picks fights. And they know that she's protected, so they cannot act.
Protected by who? OC? Me? I never spoke of such protection. Was it assumed?
Absolutely.
Would you like me to speak with her?
I don't know if that's going to help. All I know is that your flock is avoiding the nest.
Because of her?
Yes.
Gillis, do two things for me. Find out who is encroaching on the docks and gather the flock. In strength, maybe they will find their backbones. I will talk to the woman, and we will reach an accord, or she will leave. I would rather reach an accord.
Agreed. And he begins to move off. And we're going to cut to Nyx being brought into a room that is quite dirty inside of the blue coat, HQ inside of Charter Hall. And when he's escorted in, he's escorted around to sit at a table with his back to the wall facing the door. And he's placed down and he's seated, and they stand, the two blue coats kind of move around and exit the room.
Is he manacled, bound in some way?
You are still manacled at this point.
Okay.
Do you want to do anything before
Nope.
this?
He just calmly sits there and watches the door.
So about 20 minutes after entering here, giving you enough time to just kind of take in how dirty and dank, and that there's a rat in the corner, and then there's a hole where the rat comes in and out of the room, and you can see that the table that you were seated at and that the chair that you were sitting in are poorly made, and that the chair that is sitting opposed to you is actually finely made. The door opens, and you see two individuals in the doorway. The first is a shorter gentleman, early 50s, dressed quite well, but still wearing a coat that indicates that he is a blue coat of some kind. And the second behind him is quite a large individual, potentially, from your eyes, almost looks Skov. Very grizzled and cut, also wearing a shoddy blue coat, indicating, with patchwork all over, indicating that he is handled himself well in fights. His hands are gnarled, with broken and reformed bones, essentially. Just, he's got incredibly bony hands. The smaller one steps in, sits down at the table, puts a notepad and a quill on the table, as the other one stands around, or comes around and stands behind you and begins to unbind you, and then steps back to the wall. Now, Mr. Destarosi, is it?
It is.
You've made quite a few claims today.
Well, if you listened correctly, I made one, but go on.
No, I heard quite a few, but would you mind if I take some notes?
No, do go ahead.
Begins to scribble. So, can you outline for me, again, the things that you claim to do, or to have done?
Oh.
As this, he puts the quill to his mouth for a second. You called yourself the Shroud, was it?
I did, yes.
What is that?
It's a flair for the dramatic. As you can see by your coat, you understand.
Never heard of this Shroud before, so I'm quite curious. Can you elaborate?
No, that's the point. It's quite a literal term, like a shroud. You pull a veil over.
It's not a very good one, is it?
It was, until I revealed it. See how that works.
I still don't think it was a very good one.
I don't think you're very
No.
intelligent, but go on.
So can you outline for me again, point by point, what it is that you claim to have done?
Point by point, my good man, it's been ages. There was a bombing.
Oh no, it's only been
there
about
was
12
several-
hours. You're fine.
There were several murders. There was bombings going back. What's this? Months now. There was several dozen murders. Yep. Yeah, there was that. There was a. What else have I done? I killed Liza. I killed. Who was the one? The old man. He owned a tavern. You know.
You tell me?
Gull, Martin, Gull, one of those names. It's something along those lines. There's several Red Sash leaders, there was drug dealers. I basically did your job for you, except I then usurped them and took all of their power as well, under the guise of the hero of Crowsfoot. I think that about covers most of it. Do you have anything in particular you have a question about?
He's scribbling, he's scribbling notes. Just so you know, this is the official record here that I'm taking notes on.
Mm-hmm.
So there was someone named Liza.
Mm-hmm.
You claim to have murdered Martin Gull.
Yes, yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's new. We didn't know that he was actually gone. We knew he had vanished, but we didn't know he was actually dead. That's interesting. The red
Word about
sashes.
community's acclaim spreads.
We don't know anything about that. That's interesting. Can you elaborate a little bit about that?
The degree of how murdered they were, very. They were very murdered. I'm not sure what more you could ask for when it
Well,
comes to...
I'm looking for specific instances. I don't understand. The school that there was an incident at recently. There apparently was a little bit of a scuffle based on cultural traditions, and some people were injured, but nobody reported anybody dead.
Yes, cultural...
The spirit wardens were not. Spirit wardens were not called, as far as we can tell, and the record says, and So, can you elaborate? I'm very curious about that.
Could you elaborate? I'm more curious about your relationship with the Spirit Wardens, because as I murdered several people there, I passed by Spirit Wardens as I casually strolled out of the academy. So, perhaps there's a loophole there that you should be investigating. I
You're
gave you on
absolutely
a silver plate what I did.
You're absolutely right. He motions to the person behind you, who steps forward, keeping an eye on you at all times. We'll be right back.
I'll be here.
And he steps out with the other individual, and you hear the lock engage. And we're going to cut to Raymond Bowerstone. The guard enters the room along with the inspector that was in the previous scene with Nyx. Now, Mr. Bowerstone, just so you know, you were treated like every other citizen here. We acknowledge that you are a lord. We acknowledge your title. We acknowledge that you are a representative of the city as alderman. However, the reality is that in here, we are all treated the same. The one concession that you receive is that you may have a solicitor here. You may have representation. That is an extent that we extend that to you as alderman. Would you like to take the opportunity and engage that?
Very much so.
Okay. And they step out of the room. We're going to cut to OC.
Hello, I'm Steam Esquire.
Sounds about right. All right, so you find yourself at the establishment in Night Market. It's closed.
Okay, I'm gonna go in. I own it, so.
The door is barred.
Does it look like it was barred by police? Like, is there a police line type thing?
No, it was barred from the inside.
I'm going to knock loudly.
Okay, eventually somebody comes to the door, and you find yourself face to face with a very bruised and slightly bloody face, as there is a trickle of blood coming from the mouth of a young man who happens to be one of your pleasure workers. Oh, thank God it's you! And he begins to open, all of the latches on the door. Please come in. And he just begins to immediately start relatching everything after you enter.
When he's done, she'll take his hand and put her hand on his face. How many?
More than I can count. I was one of the ones out in the market. Some of us are doing better, but they followed us here. And that was everything we could do to lock the doors.
Do you know who?
No. They were ruffians of some kind. They looked like dock workers, but I couldn't tell you that they have anything that identified them otherwise. We were buying provisions, for the evening, and no, you please come this way. Some of us are worse. Okay. And he leads you back into the, through the essentially the lounge area into what's sort of like a back room. That is sort of a private gathering, lounge that you have, one of the places that you would use, but also one of the places in the building that can be doubly locked in, so that they're securing themselves in. And around the room is 4 or 5 couches, and each couch has, a man or a woman who has been either beaten or cut in some way, and the rest of the staff is trying to take care of them. And at that moment, you see the manager, kind of look up and notice that it's you, and move towards the door, or move towards you. We shouldn't talk here. This is not they're really scared.
OC is going to nod, but walk in further and assess them. 2 heads for every one of you that were hurt. That is what I promise you. And she's going to turn around and leave.
For some of them, there's an obvious comfort on their face, but for others, there's a bit of fear that passes across their face as that happens. And as you're escorted out into essentially the bar area, your manager looks at you and says, do you know what's going on here? We were just attacked, according to what they said, and they followed back. Something about dock workers? This doesn't make any sense to me. We pay the hive. We pay, we pay the things that you ask us to pay in order to stay in business.
I don't know. There is no reason for this. They attacked innocent people. These people aren't fighters.
But they targeted us. They targeted this establishment.
They targeted me. I don't know who they are, and I don't know why. But I can promise you this will not happen again.
I hope not. A couple of them are really badly beaten. I don't know if they're going to be able to work for a while.
That's not a problem. I'll bring in people from the other... I'll bring in people to cover I would close off the downstairs and that room that they're in, and we will bring them whatever they need until they're well and feel safe to leave. And they will have escorts.
Okay.
They will be taken care of, but for now, I have to go deal with this.
All right. Do you have any other instructions?
Stay safe. And no matter what, don't open the door for anyone but me.
So you wanted us to keep the establishment closed then?
Yes. Your lives are more important than this business.
Okay.
You of all people should know that.
I do, but I just wanted to make sure.
If you need anything, I'm not your boss. Just ask.
All right. And he turns, looks around the room. Okay. And he begins to make preparations. And you can see that he's writing a couple of things on a piece of paper, and he's sending one of the more able-bodied individuals out.
She's going to grab her arm when she sees her doing that. Take the carriage. I will leave one outside for you with someone that I trust. Go to a different district to get these items away from the docks, just in case.
Okay.
Doesn't matter the cost, I'll cover it.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. You stepped up here.
And we're going to cut to Steam. Where are we finding Steam? Can't hear you, Greg.
Damn, I had a funny joke too. I was muted too.
I was going to say Steam desperately wants to meta something, but he will not.
I said in
Do
space.
Do it. It's season 3. Do it. No.
I will not. I refused. He goes to the top of the crow's nest because I'm waiting for OC to return anyway, since the kids have been sent out. He's going to ask the judge. So, are you here?
No response.
Fucking good are you? Steam is going to leave word at the crow's nest for OC.
Okay.
He's also going to leave word that Nye needs to stay up in Steam's space at the top floor for now. And Steam's going to the docks.
Okay, Gillis has not returned yet.
I don't care.
Okay. Okay. All right.
No, Steam is going to
Go to the establishment.
See-
I told you to go to the establishment, you piece of shit.
Yeah, I was never going there anyway. I wanted to go to Eden first.
Okay. You're in Eden. And?
I take the books.
All of them?
Yes.
Okay. And as you take all of the books, where do you go with them?
Back to the crow's nest.
Interesting. Okay. So in that time, Gillis has returned. And he looks in truly trouble. Like, he is clearly just not, he's shaken a little bit. And he sees you approach, and he tries to, to sort himself out and, make it so that he is presenting a strong face for you, but he is clearly shaken by what he, whatever it is that he has just discovered in return.
Gillis.
I'm not sure I can. Okay.
What do we face?
it's, and he, writes himself up and he says, the attacks were false.
Our men were lying.
Yes. Here's what I know. A couple were seen taking hits from other of our group. They staged a fight, and were poorly dressed in disguise as dock workers, but there was a fight, it was a scuffle, but it was obvious that it was being staged to anybody who was there, the witnesses that I spoke to.
Between crows on crows.
Yes, but it was staged. It
By?
was obvious. I don't know.
Call them in here. Everyone, if they don't show, they're cowards and villains. If they do show, I'll deal with them.
Okay. Just so you know, along with this information, there was a bit of there were some angry voices raised when I was asking questions, and they don't like what you do with the children.
Well, they can go fuck themselves, can't they? What do you like, Gillis? You know what I'm doing. You know what happens to Taikarosi. You are one.
It's not the same.
Why? Because you understand and they don't?
No. I'm not... I don't disagree with taking care of the children. I disagree with taking away their innocence.
Who says I'm doing that?
I do. But, and you see a little bit of the flare of the Taikarosi anger kind of pop up.
You're finally healing. Good.
I respect your decisions. I will assemble the malcontents. And he turns and he walks away without even being dismissed. And we're going to cut to Nyx. In walks the inspector again.
I'm so heated. You're such a dick.
And the quite large, skull-looking guy walks in behind you and kind of positions himself. You know, it's interesting.
Is it?
If you don't mind if I just jump right in here. I mean, from my notes, I just want to make sure that you understand, that I did check on what you asked for, and it's interesting. So, while the wardens tend to be a very secretive bunch, I mean, have you ever spoken to a warden?
Is there a table that he's writing on?
Yeah,
Okay. So as he's asking questions, Nyx reaches his hands down and grabs the bottom of his chair and... No, I haven't. What did they say?
Oh, I've never spoken to one either.
No.
I thought that you might be able to illuminate, because, it's interesting. We do have some communication, though, right? There are exchanged messages so that we understand the circumstance.
Okay.
They let us know generally in certain districts, and since I'm one of the inspectors responsible for Crowsfoot, I thought that it would be interesting to check our records, and from the records, there was no big operation from the Spirit Wardens in there. So I'm kind of at a loss here. Can you explain more about this supposed fight and scuffle where you killed a number of red sashes?
Yes, either I am lying and I have made up this farce for a good laugh, or you're being lied to by the spirit wardens. Pretty simple math there.
I mean, I don't have any reason not to trust the public record of what the wardens do for us. So, unless you can provide me with some proof as to otherwise, I'm just going to have to mark this claim as off. I mean, I've still got people looking into, since I stepped away, I've got people looking into the Martingale situation, and the Liza. Who is this Liza person again? Do you have a full name?
I don't. I didn't care what it was. I heard it in passing. Leader of the Crows. Died in an explosion.
Yeah, I remember the explosion. So we're moving on here a little bit. I'll do some more checking here. But so you're claiming responsibility for the explosion that happened in Crowsfoot, the warehouse on the sort of the southwestern side?
Yes.
Interesting. Can you tell me a little bit more about that? How did you accomplish that?
With bombs.
I'd like a little bit more clarification, because there was, as I understand it, it was a meeting between the 3 street gangs that currently reside in Crowsfoot. So, I mean... Residing, as I understand it, because we still have record of the land blocks and of the sashes operating correctly. And as we understand it, there's been a change in leadership of the Crows at this point.
Has there
and
been? Who is in charge now?
We don't have quite any information about that yet. Some shadowy figure who just has popped up on the scene. We're not really quite sure about that. But
interesting. I'll have to take care of him as well. And what about the red sashes? Who's taken over them as well?
I don't have any information about that right now. So it's interesting though, because you keep claiming to do all these things, yet you won't give me the details to support that, so that I can charge you. Because what I'm looking to do here, honestly, this inquiry, this for the record here, this is really me just finding a way to confirm the things that you claim that you've done.
See, what I've done is I've put my name to the scene of several very heinous crimes that have been committed across the city. Worst case scenario, I leave with no evidence, and the entire criminal underworld still thinks it was me. Best case, you arrest me and send me to prison.
I don't think you understand. If it's true that you did all of these things,
right,
this fits for public execution.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time there was an attempt at a public execution.
In this particular case, if you can prove that you've done all of these things and you want to claim responsibility for them, that execution is guaranteed.
What if the big guy, is he an inspector or is he a blue coat?
He's a blue coat.
What if you give me 1 whole minute without that guy, and I'll tell you something more, even bigger than whatever you want to put in your little paperwork there. Just 1 minute. You can even tie me back up.
It's a tempting offer, but can we get back to the record at hand? You seem to be avoiding the question about offering any particular detail in respect to this bombing.
Yes, well, my offer involves not only the Bluecoats, which I know you have special interest in, but members of the Council of 6. And he puts his hands up to the big guy to tie them up.
So as you kind of look back, you see that this person is kind of staring basically straight ahead and not focusing in on you at all. And as you're having this conversation, you're trying to get him to, you get a sense that he isn't quite all there.
The big ones usually aren't.
So, I don't think you need to worry about him. If you've got something to put on the table, please, go ahead.
What if I tell you that there was an orchestrated assassination attempt, as you saw on the coronation day of the alderman. Perpetrated.
I wouldn't call it a coronation. He's not a king.
Whatever you want to call it.
It's it's a ceremony at best. Even then, it's just a
Fine.
handing off.
It's ceremony.
Regardless, I'm still trying to just get through the list of things that you claiming responsibility for, and now you're telling me there's a new plot.
Yes, well,
that
your
involves
job
the Council of
is
Six is.
Your job is the evidence. I've confessed to the crimes. You throw me in prison,
And I am
you-
just trying to do my job and get to the point.
And I am an obstinate prisoner. So now hit the streets, or listen to what I have to say.
I'm honestly trying to do that.
No, you're trying to ask me questions about what you want to hear, not what I want to say. Now, what if the assassination attempts, the third, on the alderman, was perpetrated not by a gang of crooks, but... And he points to the big guy in the corner. Your underlings.
That's quite a bold statement.
Well, it's a bold fact, but whatever.
Well, no, it's a bold statement because I don't see any facts as of yet. Would you like to explain to me the facts?
Yes, I chased down the perpetrators of the assassination attempt. I have to keep a cover intact. And then I murdered them heartily. I'm sure you saw a cart overturned with goats. 2 dead bodies there. The third one was dragged into the sewers, which I'm sure wasn't recovered. He bore a blue coat badge.
Do you have any actual evidence, though? Because I mean, you keep making all of these claims, but at the end of the day, I don't see any actual evidence. I know of the situation that you're speaking of.
Have I been
Poor
searched?
goats. You have not.
Okay, so I still have all my shit on me?
Yes.
It's a copious amount of shit. So he puts his hands up, and he kind of like gives him like a look, and then he reaches inside his jacket, and he pulls out the blue coat badge.
As you reach inside your jacket, you feel a hand on the back of your neck, and as you continue to reach, it begins to crush the back of your neck, and you begin to experience a significant amount of pain.
Okay. He still continues and pulls out the badge. And then he like kind of...
He holds it up and he looks at it, and he looks at the strong man behind you and waves him back. That's quite interesting.
I thought so.
And he turns it over and he's looking at it. It's a Brightstone blue coat.
Is it?
That's interesting.
Isn't it?
You know, it's funny. I just actually took care of the corruption that was going on in the Brightstone blue coats. I just made that arrest last week. I don't know if you read the paper, but I actually did that. So, yeah, the fact that you've got this, that incident was a couple of weeks ago. So I think that's actually taken care of, and he passes it back over to you.
Oh, well, then neat. My work here is done. On to yours. I'll wait.
So, are you going to answer my questions?
Oh, I thought we established that no.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And he begins to stand up. Do you have anything that you need? Is there anything that I can do for you while you're going to your stay here?
No, I'm fine.
Okay. And they step out of the room, and we're going to cut to Bowerstone. The two of them walk in, and they are followed by quite a thin, frail-looking, very old man. I'm sorry, Mr. Bowerstone. Your solicitor couldn't be reached. However, this one was sent in his stead. He's here to represent you. His name is Mr. Rudolph.
Oh, that's okay. He can be dismissed.
But you just asked for...
I trust my solicitor, not that person. I'm sorry for your time.
The inspector begins to turn, and Mr. Rudolph looks over. If you'll indulge me for just a second, looking at the inspector, and he looks directly at Bowerstone. If you will indulge me a moment. I would love to have a private conversation so that I may explain the qualifications that I have to fulfill the duties with which your solicitor has asked me to.
Oh, I'm sure that you're under some sort of oath to protect or whatever you do, but at the same time, I don't know you. And this is Duskfall. I know the games.
And he pulls out an envelope and he shows it to the inspector. May I pass this over to Mr. Bowerstone? And the inspector looks at it for a second. Sure. And he passes over an envelope that contains a note.
I'll take it and read it.
Inside, it says, Raymond, your father did a lot of work for us, and I feel responsible for your current situation. Please accept the services of Mr. Rudolph. He will present you with an opportunity to extract yourself from this situation. Sincerely. And it's it says the partner of the Northwood Company, a partner of the Northwood Company. A name that you would recognize from your past.
Yep. Thank you, Johnny. That puts a spanner in the works. This will entitle you to a private 2-minute meeting. If that's all right with the detective here, or whatever you are.
Inspector, may I? All right. And they both step out. You have 2 minutes. And the door closes and locks. Mr. Rudolph sits frailly in the seat opposite to you.
So what's this bloody game about, huh?
Well, it's simple. My employer has worked with your father in the past, and out of loyalty, I am to extend you an offer. The Northwood Company would like some concessions to be disclosed later. From you, Mr. Alderman of Crowsfoot, and we will make this go away as our price.
Did you know my father?
I don't know your father at all, Mr. Bowerstone.
So
Lord
you're merely
Bowerstone.
just Raymond. In here.
Okay. Raymond.
I'm gonna trust on this offer.
I am only making the offer. Whether you trust it or not, it is on the table.
Well, let's see how well you get me out of this then.
Okay.
I'm trusting in your skills. Send them back in.
He gets up opens the door. He says, "Excuse me, Mr. Bowerstone, give me just a moment." And he steps outside. And there's some exchange of words. And for the first time, you hear the inspector's voice get raised a little bit. Both of them? Are you kidding? No, I haven't even complete. Fine. The door opens. The inspector walks in. Mr. Bowerstone, excuse me, Alderman Bowerstone, you are free to go. And he steps back and he lets you out.
Bloody hell, I'm hiring you. Wow, that's great. What's happening with, the person that used to work for me?
If you will please follow me, Alderman, I will escort you to Mr. Destarosi's cell, and we will extract him immediately.
Oh, brilliant.
And we're going to cut to the door opening on Nyx's room, and you see the inspector behind you. The inspector standing there with Raymond standing behind him. You are free to go, he says, and he steps back and he gives you the gesture of.
Well, that took far longer than I expected. Thank you. Have a great day. And he scooches his chair out and stands up and says, good luck with whatever incompetence you were trying to do. I will be seeing you. Alderman, shall we?
I'll
you
find
prefer
the both of
separate?
you. I will find the both of you and arrest you for something.
Oh,
Is what he mumbles. What the inspector mumbles as you begin to step away.
listen, you're only doing what's best for Crowsfoot.
And I'm not sure that you're it. That you are what's best for Crowsfoot. But
Well,
I can't do anything about that right now.
He's a simpleton.
yes, you're playing chess, I'm playing checkers, and yet you're still not beating me. But I'm just joking. That would be stupid.
Hand in
What's
hand, then,
checkers?
Alderman.
Oh, Nix. Get out that fucking door. We're having some words.
I assume I'm fired.
So you were both escorted along with Mr. Rudolph through the various corridors leading up a staircase and out the front door of the Charter Hall Bluecoats headquarters. As the door closes and sort of slams behind you, Mr. Rudolph looks to Mr. Bowerstone, or Alderman Bowerstone, and he says, "Remember our deal. We'll be in contact shortly.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rudolph.
It has been a pleasure. Mr. Disarosi." And he begins to move away.
And once he's out of earshot, Nix turns to Bowerstone and says, "And your new friend? Who do we have to thank for that?"
You can thank the North Hook Company for that one. What the hell were you thinking?
Go back. We can thank whom?
The North Hook.
And why?
My turn. Why did you do that?
It was a show.
Clearly, and it's cost us a lot.
Well, not really. You didn't actually do anything as Alderman. You did understand that, right? You were...
Oh, I understand that
ruse.
perfectly clear, Nix. But there are plans, and you have a team. You can't just do this on your own.
I do most of this on my own, and they'll understand.
You have a team behind you. If Steam or OC finds out about this, you know they're not as lenient as I am.
They're already aware of what has happened.
Then I'm not looking forward to that meeting.
I have eyes and ears over the city, and OC has almost as many. Of course they know what happened.
Then should I start preparing funeral arrangements now?
That depends. How well do you know the Northhook Company?
Well enough, apparently.
Apparently...
A conversation I am to have with a relative of mine.
I thought you were the last.
So did I.
This muddies waters.
Would have been nice if we had a conversation before we did this.
But your face would have given it away.
Doesn't it always?
Yes, you can barely hold your shit any time of the day, let alone when things go haywire.
So why throw me in that position then? If
Authenticity.
you know how I'm still in a calming effect from that trance. I'm still quite happy at the moment. You still caught me on a good day, Nix. I say, though, when we reconvene tomorrow, I don't think you'll be alive.
Oh, I'll be quite alive. We have a discussion about this Northhook. It needs to happen as soon as possible. It complicates things for me, but tomorrow, as you said. Oh,
Good.
since we're on the grounds of the Bluecoats here, you're going to want to have an elaborate firing of me loudly to help further your cause, that you didn't know anything. Go ahead. I look aghast.
Well, I can't believe it. I trusted you. And you've gone and done this. I can't believe it. No, there's no sucking up to me now, Nix. No, don't bother getting on your knees like usual. No, get up and leave. You're fired.
God damn it. That was pretty good. That was good. He tries to rebut and he just stammers over his words. And he just hangs his head and leaves. He walks away past you.
Just walking away with a little fist bump.
Yeah. Got him. On the knees.
Okay, so from a mechanical perspective, clear your wants level
Okay.
and your heat, because you technically did go to jail.
Can we roll on that chart just to see what would have happened?
Do you really want to see what would happen?
Kind of, because I took a skill just for going to prison.
Okay. Let me find the chart.
148.
148. 148 or 153? 148. Do you really want to roll this? Are you
I'm just curious. I'm just curious to see what happens.
Roll it.
All right. What is it? Tier. So it's
Yep. So tier 5.
So it's tier. I'll just
Tier
roll
4
roll
plus
it.
your-
Yeah, I'll just
Yeah.
roll a d6 separately. So it would be tier. Oh yeah, I can just do a +1. Dirt.
Yeah.
A 6.
All right, pick a claim on the fucking claim chart.
So
God damn it.
So just so we know what happens here, our crew gets 3 rep, which makes us tier 5. I'm sorry, that makes us. I'm sorry, it makes us tier 4
No,
strong.
You do not get. It is not a. You got a 6. You didn't get a critical.
Yeah, 6. Oh, you're right. All right, I'm reading the wrong spot. You're right.
You gain-
Our crew gets a prison claim,
And a faction status.
right? And then I have Jailbird. We get a +1 faction status with another faction in addition to our incarceration roll. So 2 factions think we're badasses. No, Greg, my cameras. 2 factions think we're badasses, and we get a prison claim.
Well, pick a prison claim, and we'll have a quick conversation about what that means off screen in respect to the factions.
Where do you?
Because there were actually
Okay.
there are a couple of factions in play. There is a specific. You would add it to the crew sheet,
Okay.
or it
His
should be on the
team's
crew sheet.
gone.
Do you just add it with your normal turf?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, wait a minute. No, it would be on the prison map.
There isn't one.
Okay, then we'll fix that later.
All right.
But
I'll just write it down in the
Right.
in the notes.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Hey.
Rhino.
Listen, how could
I'm
if
gonna
you
go
can't
like this.
roleplay like me, play a noble.
It's
You
fine,
get
I can
some of
just-
the RP for you.
I can kill all the crows now. The steam's gone. You
Guys,
won't fight me.
it's 2018. I'm a pro streamer, and this is what that looks like.
Hey, you're muted half the time. Fuck you.
Oh, why you do me like that? Oh, god damn it. Yeah, we can continue. I'll fuck with the cameras in a second.
I mean,
Are we
Steam's
going-
in the next?
Are we going to Steam next?
Well, I'm going to Steam,
No.
so
She's going to Steam. So there's a couple of things that can actually happen here because there's a bunch of moving parts. We can advance the Northhook story and go to that meeting directly, and then we can come back to Steam and OC when Steam comes back and OC is there.
you guys can do
Or
that.
We can do something else that either Raymond or Nick's want to do, or we can have these side adventures of OC on her way to find crows.
Can I?
Do you want to do something, OC?
Okay.
if someone stopped my care... Okay, nope, goddammit. Just let me kill all the crows. It doesn't matter that he's here.
Do it. Kill him.
Sorry.
Did your internet pipe burst?
I was still thinking about Jason Statham.
You spilled. Made a deposit on your cables.
Let's save him.
Oh, okay. All right.
Jason.
What's wrong with Tom? Don't you like Tom? I thought you liked Tom. Anyways, OC, going back to Crow's Nest.
She's going to run up the steps. She has, when she was back at the establishment on her way out, she grabbed like a bottle that had like a third or less left from the counter.
Mm-hmm.
And she's drinking in the cab. Not drunk, but she's drinking angrily in the cab on the way, in the carriage.
Okay.
So she will run up the steps and kick the door open and look to go find Steam where he would, she would normally find him. I'm assuming on the perch.
Okay.
Why are dock workers killing and hurting my girls? Nearly killing.
I have no idea. They attacked, apparently, some goddamn charade. Some crows attacked some other crows dressed poorly as dock workers, if Gillis is to be believed. I don't know what the fuck is going on, but we are under attack if your business and my business are both being interfered with.
Where are these crows?
I have summoned everyone to the nest. If they still call themselves crows or they believe themselves to be unidentified, they will show up. If they don't, we will know precisely who they are. Either way, we'll know soon.
OC is going to... She's wearing a dress because she thought it was just a normal day. So she's going to rip off the bottom of the dress because it's long so she can fight. She's taking off her jacket and folding it and putting it in the corner. Are the children there yet?
Steam's going to put his hand on OC's shoulder. OC, this is planned. This is not something that we can muscle or fight our way out of.
No, but it may make me feel better and not kill everyone.
They expect that.
I'll speak to them first.
They are well versed in what happened at the Sash Academy. They want to have a bloodbath on their hands for whatever purpose. We need to play this differently.
Then train with me. And she's going to push him towards the ledge off of the crow's nest. Not hard, but...
What the fuck is your problem? It's not a time for training, OC.
I am going to kill everyone in this tower right now. Nye included, if we do not get this out of me.
What has happened to you?
You know what has happened to me.
No, I do not. You are
You
not
my
acting rational.
When have I ever been rational?
These are women and men that you have sacrificed to your ghost. And now you claim to have some type of maternal instinct over them? Get the fuck out of here, OC.
Not the children. Everyone else. Any of the crows, any of your crows that you were supposed to be watching.
You're losing your touch, OC. God help us all.
God help them all.
You're not a god yet.
I don't mean me. She's going to pace until he either fights back or they show up. Whichever comes first.
OC, they are coming. They want this. You understand? You're giving them what they want.
If you saw the men and women hiding, terrified, beaten, bruised, running for their lives, barricading themselves in an establishment, is that how we do business now? Is that how we watch out for our own? What if they were your children's team?
Let me ask you this. Behaving the way that you're doing is playing directly into the hands of the ones that did the beating. You are setting yourself up to be removed from the scene one way or the other, and then what will happen to your little band? They will not be beaten. They will be subjugated, drawn back into the fold of some other pimp. Do you wish that? If you truly love these ones that have barricaded themselves behind the doors of Night Market, you will play things differently. They expect something, do the other.
She's gonna get like you would threateningly up against him so that they're chest to chest and her face is, she's looking past him over his ear. Then you will help me get this out of me while we wait.
You hear cackling.
Is it Nye or one of the...
You hear
No.
cackling in the distance. And as you look to the source of the cackling, while the two of you are privately on the roof, you see the spectral image of the old woman. And
Great.
she's-
It's a party then.
They're all coming, OC.
So is she.
Yes. Ascendancy was never going to be easy.
I don't care to ascend. I care for my women, my men.
Then be their god. Anything else gets them killed.
So does being a god. You did it
Shut
with
the
some-
fuck up. I've had enough of you, old man. Your time stopping and your bullshit. You come in here like you have some goddamn scales on your fingers, judging this and that, and you don't say shit.
You
What
hear
would
the
you
voice
have
of the
me
old
do?
woman. Judge? What do you... Balance scales? Who are you talking about, young man?
I'm sorry, I believe there was another prick in this room.
Steam. OC's gonna look to Steam. Can I kill one of them at least?
We can't kill any of them.
Fucking
They're like the
Christ.
goddamn old man Muppets. They just sit up there and say shit to us, and we have to take it.
I am going to kill someone before this day is through. Blood needs blood.
Bowerstone should be along soon.
May not end well for him if he's standing here.
I'm joking. We don't need to kill him yet.
Am I interrupting something? I mean, it's...
Fuck
it's,
off,
It's,
old lady.
it's interesting. I really would like to have a conversation, but clearly there's something amiss here.
Well, yes, you're interrupting something, so why don't you go off and fuck yourself? Come back in 5 or 10 years whenever we're done with this fucking city.
I'm incorporeal, dear.
Well, then you have plenty of fucking time.
Oh no, I do have pressing matters. But clearly you do too, since you seem to be concerned about this judge, and this young woman here continues to go on and on with her anger. I wonder.
Sigh.
Some of us are still alive and fighting to stay that way.
Oh, that won't last long. The mortal coil gets us all.
Then wait for me to die.
No, I have more pressing matters with you.
And we have more pressing matters than you.
I can help. Clearly you have problems. Clearly you're... How did he describe it? Flock? Your children? There's trouble. I would be more than happy to help. In fact, we never got a chance to actually have a full conversation.
Yes, you tried to possess me.
Well, you told us to leave, and that was the quickest way for us to have that conversation. You see, I think you've been possessed before. You know that thoughts move much more quickly, and we can explain ourselves. But you keep resisting. And all we have to do is offer you what you want most.
Yeah, you and everybody else. Caius.
I speak only for myself and the sisters.
And who are you?
I am the eldest of the sisters. here to make you the same offer that every sister has made.
Join you.
Become us.
Listen, the idea of thousands of women inside me sounds very tempting, but you're not my type.
Sounds good as well. I don't know if I can.
You haven't heard our offer yet.
There are people on their way here who have hurt my friends, my family, if you will, my real family, who didn't try to use me. And then I have Nye, who's not Nye. And then I have you.
What if she could be again?
Again, promises. He wanted me to kill all my friends. What do you want from me? What does joining you do for me? How does that change me?
Oh, no. I'm sorry. Let me clarify. I feel, again, this conversation goes much better if we can at least, I would promise to leave.
Don't fucking touch me.
The offer is simple. We offer you everything that the Dimmer Sisters are. All of our knowledge, all of our vast resources. You think the house was really everything to us? Was that all that we had? No. We offer it all. We'll even give you the knowledge to return Nye. She can join you. You can be one together. But it comes at a cost. And the cost is simple. You work with us. You work as one of us.
After all these years of lying to me, using me, manipulating me.
There was no lying and manipulating.
There was lying, and there was manipulating. And there was hiding things from me.
Hiding is different than lying and manipulating. You weren't ready for the full truth yet.
It's actually not any different.
OC, if I may.
Are you going to punch her off the roof?
No, not quite yet. We always talk about this, and there's always offers and shadowy devil's deals. How about this? If you want her to even consider your deal, and you very much want that, or you would not be following her around across this city in time in your incorporeal being, how about a deposit on your investment? Who is attacking us? Who ordered the crows to turn? Who had them attack her people? Who is...
Spirit.
Bullshit.
What makes you think that I am going to help you?
Because you want me.
I'll make you a counteroffer.
Oh boy.
Please call 9.
I don't want you to touch her.
Please call 9.
Steam looks at Ose.
Get her. I don't want this one out of my sight.
As you wish.
Please.
He walks the 10 feet and opens the door, and I'm assuming that Nye is in his private chambers.
Mm-hmm.
Nye, there's an old fart out here that wishes to talk to you.
Immediately, blue eyes, Mary pops up. What do you mean, old? What?
Mary, I think we need you right now. If you could just have Nye kind of ride in the back for a second. We need you up, defense, bitch factor of 12. Come out. I like you best, Mary.
OC gives a little bit of a smile and then returns to stern face.
The body follows. Mary in charge, blue eyes, front. What is this? What's going on here? Why? What does this woman want? She looks to OC. You were asked to give her time.
I am giving her time. But she may be able to help.
What does that mean?
Hear her out. That's all you have to do. There's no trick here. If she tries to touch you, Well, she's a ghost, so maybe not.
Mary, do you know this woman?
Mary looks over at the spirit. No.
Good.
Nye does, but I don't.
She is the oldest of the sisters.
She wants to come forward, but you, and she nods to Steam. You won't let me forward. And at that, there's a brief second of like her eyes just sort of shifting brown and then back to blue.
Mary, listen to me. You have the levelest head of your group. Reach a conclusion. If you believe among yourselves that it is in Nye's best interest to speak to this one, if you believe protecting her allows her a chance to speak, I will go with whatever you say. And he turns to the old woman. If her defenders do not let her speak, you can fuck right off.
I only need to whisper.
Yes, of course you do. Mary,
I will not.
You're in control.
She can hear you. Go ahead.
Come here, child. The old woman motions with a spectral hand. Mary is hesitant at first. As you can see, there's a little bit of a dance between blue and brown. And finally, the blue just solid and just brilliant. Seen in the torchlight or the lamplight. She steps forward. What do you want to say, old woman? Old woman steps up and says, let me just whisper in your ear. I will not touch, I will not possess, I will not.
OC is going to attune so that her hand is as she was when she hit the old woman last time.
Okay.
Just defensively. She's watching.
I'm not going to have you roll it, so. As you attune, you see the exchange begin, and there is a transfer of energy of some kind. And you hear the whisper of words, but you can't actually make them out.
Is it a spell?
No. But in the way that it's evoked, it's this. You can see it. It's like a physical
transfer of energy.
Right. It's a physical manifestation in the ghost field of energy being transferred. And the old woman steps back, and immediately the head drops. And you see a head shake for a second. And then the young girl rights herself, the body rights herself. And for the first time, OC, you recognize the confident mannerisms of Nye.
OC drops with her head in shame to the ground.
And she turns and looks, and for the first time, you see recognition in those brown eyes. And she steps forward slowly, cautiously, and lifts your head and puts a hand on your cheek. And she smiles at you with a sad smile. And she takes your hand and she leads you into Steam's private room and closes the door. The old woman looks to Steam. The offer is legitimate, but we do need her.
I'm sure. So do I.
But to what end?
To what end?
We offer her everything.
You offer her a nest to squat in.
Says the one who lives in a nest. And she begins to cackle.
Ironic, isn't it?
A little dirty, actually. You know, at least the sisters keep a tidy household.
You know what she is as well as I do. You know what I am as well as I do. That is why you want OC.
Oh. That's what you meant by the judge. Wow. It's been a long time since he's been here.
Well, he is no conversationalist, so...
No, he wouldn't be.
What is he?
She smiles. I'll be back.
That's for me to find out, right?
No. He's right behind you. When you turn around, you see the old man, hat in hand, looking at you, smiling a little bit. It's for the first time that you notice that there's something wrong with his left eye. It's dead. This is the first time that you've seen it in enough light so that it's obvious that there's something wrong with it. Strange friends you have.
Yes, but friends, indeed, eh? So tell me, old man, am I failing, or do I have a passing grade? Did I stick the landing yet?
I think you misunderstand what my purpose is here.
Humor me.
No, you have much to do with... It is almost time for their decision making, but not yet.
Can I tell you what I've observed as I've judged you? You seem to frown and pout and bitch and whine anytime I help my friends, help my children, help my sister, help OC.
It's how you help them.
How I help them. Would you prefer I didn't? Would you prefer I left them? Would you prefer I would see their bodies float by in the canal and not care at all because I am a goddamn god that doesn't care of such things? Do you know what I'm going to be, old man?
A demon.
No. I'm going to kill the demons.
That little trick you do. That little rage. That little frightening visage with which you exhibit. Do you think that's really what a god is?
What do you know?
You'll soon find out.
Then why are you here? If I am already a lost cause, a demon. You said yourself you were here to judge my ascension.
Ascension is not the word I would use.
Transformation. You expect me to devolve into a demon. I'm afraid that I am going to disappoint you greatly, old man.
It's not the demon or the god with which I am judging you for. You will fall and become a demon, that is obvious. It's whether you're worthy of the offer of an alternative path. And he begins to step away, and he looks away, and then he looks back at you. Your children are coming. And he vanishes. We're going to cut to Nyx.
I hate that fucking guy.
He should hook up with that crazy lady that's following me. Maybe they'd be less cranky.
Yeah, I agree with that statement. Nyx, where are you?
Oh, I thought you were telling me.
No, I'm wondering where you are because you've just gotten out of jail and been fired.
Yeah, how many days has it been since Nicholas was brought back?
I would imagine that by the time you guys were doing all your downtime actions, and that was the culmination of your downtime actions, it was probably a couple days to a week. So, kind of a vague sort of a situation.
Okay.
The events of this particular day have all sort of happened within the same 24 hours, but that's still a little vague as well. So there is definitely plenty of things for you to engage in.
Okay. Nyx goes to the Path of Echoes.
Okay. where do you go to the Path of Echoes?
To the library.
You go to the archive.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When you enter the room, or when you enter the library, it's a little quieter than you would expect. There are no scribblings when you enter the... You hear, as you're walking down the steps, there are no scribblings coming from any of the desks, the furious scribblings that you would hear that would be typically Lord Pendrin. And as you step into the library itself, it's actually quite dark, except for a single lantern that burns sort of in the center of the archive. As the archive is essentially just a spoke, series of spokes of the library. There's the central tables. In the center of that is a single table, and you've never seen anything on it before, but now glows a single lantern.
And no one's around?
And no one's around.
Oh, man. Ghosts and all?
Do you attune?
Yeah.
No ghosts.
Interesting. Was the librarian or the custodian at the top of the stairs when he came through?
Nope.
More interesting. He picks up a lantern.
As you do, there is a path that begins to illuminate in front of you. It is a series of steps outlined in spectral energy, leading you off into the library.
He follows those steps.
You eventually find yourself down 2 stories into quite a large, essentially hall-like structure. Because the trip down to the second story of the archive, which is essentially sub-level 2 in a lot of from a description perspective, that's about 1.5 to 2 stories. The next story down is a series of 5 flights of stone steps, and the room that you enter is quite large. It's a hall, but it's very dark and it's very cold down here. And at first, you don't see anything at all. When you enter the room, the door closes behind you of its own volition, and for the first time, you begin to notice that there are many spirits here. And slowly, kind of merging, coming out of the darkness towards you, is Nicholas. And standing next to him is his mother. And behind them is their father, or is his father walking behind them.
Is Nicholas walking, or is he like a ghost?
He's a ghost.
Okay. Do they say anything when they see Nix, or do they just stand there quietly?
They don't say anything at first as they're approaching, but eventually it is Lord Pendrin that speaks up. And for the first time, you see him without his right-hand man, the guy behind his right shoulder.
The professor.
Have you come to fulfill, or have you come for us to fulfill our end of the deal?
Yes and no. And he looks to Pendrin, and then he looks to Nicholas, and he extends a hand to him, kind of knowing that that's not really how this works. But he extends a hand to him nonetheless, and he says, "We didn't have the pleasure of meeting, Nicholas. My name is Nixarian Desterosi." He
takes your hand in a sort of an emotive kind of a way, just kind of animating the motion, but you don't feel the hand, right? But the attempt is made, and that is done there.
This is your mother, your father, and a woman you know as OC. I've been looking for you.
Many things have been explained to me.
Good. Well, unfortunately, you're in the state you're in. Nothing can be done about that. We thought what we did would have saved you, but Blade was a bit bigger than I thought it was.
Death isn't an end.
Well, of course not. Which brings me to why I came here. I have a proposition for you. And he's kind of looking through Nicholas to his father, and he glances to his mother. He says, I have a few more tasks I need to accomplish in this. But what if our deal is arranged? I get what I want, and you get some semblance of what you want. What if we use your son's body?
There's a smirk when you say what you want on Nicholas's face. And then Lord Penderin speaks up and says, "Well, what exactly are you proposing?"
Well, your son was missing, but he was your son, and he's a known member of society. I'll keep up all pretenses.
It's a bold offer.
Nicholas, you wouldn't be the first ghost that followed me around.
Why?
As I said, I have a few more things to accomplish in this, but I think it may have outlived its use.
You do understand what you're asking.
Yes, I mean, without beating around the bush, we discussed vampirism before. It's exactly what I'm asking you for, but as opposed to using my body as the hollow.
You understand what that means, though.
That I die.
There is a cost. There's a cost.
Yes, you've mentioned the cost before. What is the cost?
As we've discussed, vampirism, the body prepared, comes with a cost. There is a certain sated state that you must maintain. And if you don't, it leaves you more vulnerable than the flesh.
I believe that can be arranged.
Why? Why do this? Why? The answer that this is almost done and I want to do something, that doesn't make any sense to us.
Oh, why the vampirism?
Why do you want my son's body?
A matter of convenience. I've recently learned that a manner of people believe that I should be dead. Clearly, I am not. That poses a problem for them. Unfortunately, they exist all over the place, and I can't rightly kill all of them. I will kill as many as I can, but I will fall doing so. When they think I'm dead, they will no longer look for me. No one besides the four of us, or the three of us, I guess, are looking for Nicholas.
He looks a little taken aback by your bold statements. You do realize that there's another responsibility that comes with this.
What would that be?
You would need to fulfill your duties as a member of the Penderin family, in body and in mind. And you would have to follow Nicholas's instructions in those circumstances.
Yes. Still leaves me plenty of time for extracurricular activities. Your son, he kind of nods, Nicholas, was producing what I believe to be military-grade hulls. So I'm sure that, left to my own devices, I can continue whatever I was doing before this, as long as I keep up the pretenses.
This is all academic at this point. But should we accept this exchange, there is one final piece that you should be aware of. The creation of this living situation.
Mm-hmm.
It's delicate and it's aggressive and it has its own potential drawbacks. But on top of that, there is one other element. It is forbidden. And I'm not suggesting that it's against the law, because the law really is not important to the likes of you and I. And at that, Nicholas and his mother both smile. It is that you will draw attention to yourself should it be revealed, and you will be hunted until you are destroyed.
That I expected.
Not from this adversary.
Yes.
Do you know who I speak of?
Any number of vampire hunters that exist in the world, I assume, but is there a specific one?
That's funny. Vampire hunters. There is only one who manages that. And that is the High Inquisitor. And he will find you.
As I see it, I'm a dead man either way. This gives me a head start. I do have a question for you, though. And he looks back and forth between the mother's ghost and Nicholas's ghost.
Mm-hmm.
Does the mixed... Excuse me for being crass, but... Does the mixed bloodline make it more difficult?
That's the irony, Nicholas answers. It actually makes it easier.
Perfect. That's how I like things.
It's still painful.
Death usually is.
You will, of course, indulge me on occasion with my body, should we accept this deal.
Possession or favors?
Both.
It's an arrangement that I can agree to.
There are questions that we must answer first, but you will receive a response within 24 hours.
And
It's bold.
Okay.
It's bold. Is there anything else we might do for you? We can't ever fully repay you for you bringing Nicholas back to us from that ghastly man.
So Johnny, to super metagame here, the ritual that you undertake to join the Path of Echoes has a specific quality. I assume the Path of Echoes is a place that has a spirit well. I mean, I'm making a bold assumption there. I haven't undergone that. But knowing that Nick's knowing that he's likely going to die, unfortunately he doesn't know about what the ritual does, but I do, that it bounces his soul back to the last spirit well, which is conveniently where his hollow would be waiting.
That's correct.
Is there more that Nyx can do to get this ritual done?
No.
Okay. Just ask for it? Is that this point? Like,
you actually asked for vampirism instead of entry to the Path of Echoes. That's what the mother promised.
right.
So that's on the table still.
Okay. Yeah, so I guess he'll ask. So to take it a step back, he will ask, now, from what I understand from the ritual books you've given me, that I need to be dead near the hollow. What if I'm not? Is there something we can do about that?
Yes. Do you have a particular plan in place for your untimely exit?
I don't. I was going to play it by ear.
Again, 24 hours, and we'll have our decision.
Then I'll see you then.
And when we do decide, should we agree, there'll be something a little extra that will be provided, if that's the case. Expect our courier.
And he extends his hand in a mock handshake with Nicholas, and then his mother and then actually shakes. If Lord Pendrin takes his hand, he shakes his hand as well.
He does. And so, as you begin to kind of step away from them and begin to head back towards the stairway, you hear sort of a weird sort of whistling sound, and it is for the first time that you realize that somewhere off in the distance in the room, there is something else there. There is something at the back of this room, but you haven't seen it yet.
So he's holding the lantern up, and he stops when he hears the noise, but doesn't actually address the noise, and he does turn back to the three, and he says, Nicholas, less for me, but I would be remiss if I didn't ask. The entire purpose of us finding you was your friend, O.C. She needs your assistance, and it appears as though you're in no state to do so. Have you heard of a way that a spectral entity can take on the personalities of other spectral entities? Or a way to reverse it?
He looks to his father, who looks back at him, and his father looks stunned. Yes. It's complicated.
Oh, shit.
No. To unravel that requires time and patience. We've only heard of it happening once before. That, and Lord Pendrin kind of, and I'll be honest, we read as much as we could. We did the research, but ultimately required some outside help.
Outside help?
One of our own who died before their time. We were not able to repair. And we had to inquire about the services of the Dinner Sisters.
Well, that inconveniences everything. My friend O.C. is a bit of a fire starter. Didn't like the answer that they gave her.
We've heard.
We've
also had inquiries since then. Know that they are gone, but not forgotten.
So if I brought you this spirit, there's nothing you could do.
My dear, looks over to his wife, and she steps up for the first time. Not without the sisters' help.
Well, I asked. And he turns back and lifts the lantern and heads back down the corridor.
Okay, and you're going to exit, and we cut to Mr. Bowerstone. Lord Bowerstone, what are you doing now?
Honestly, he's going to send a letter first to the Northhook Company, naming them, telling them to name a time and place.
At which they do.
Oh, that was quick.
Well, you send off the courier. They respond within a couple of hours, indicating a meeting for the next day.
Okay, I'll meet them then.
Okay. So until then, though, do you reconnect with the group?
Sure. That sounds like a fun time.
And where do you reconnect with them?
You guys want to get brunch?
Can my 500 friends in all these different places tag along?
I could use a mimosa.
Does the Crow's Nest have a veranda? Can you have lunch on the veranda?
On the roof.
It's beautiful. It's
Oh, lovely. I do like myself a spot of tea and crumpets.
If you time it properly, it'll be brunch and a show.
That's right. We will throw the radiant plant, ash. Everyone will get fucking crazy.
That's
it's nice. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's where we'll reconvene then.
There's an adorable little barista that works there, too.
Okay.
His name was Clave.
So you find Steam how at the how do we find Steam at the crow's nest when Raymond arrives?
Pissed. This is the Steam's pissed episode.
Okay.
He can't even go into his room because Nye and OC are.
You're welcome to watch.
I can already see through the walls. I don't want to though.
Gross.
The kids are back. He's basically just circling the wagons. The judge has him pissed off. The old woman has him pissed off. He's pissed off. These crows are coming in that apparently are like summer stock fucking actors, and they're down at the docks dressing up like dock workers and shit and beating up prostitutes. This is not how I taught them. I did not tell them to beat up prostitutes. He's ready to. He's pissed. So
I'll come back another day. I'll come back. It's fine.
no, you're fine, Raymond. Christ, whoever that is.
Oh, me.
Everything okay?
We've had a day. It's if I had to venture a guess, my dear Alderman, I would guess that someone is deciding it right now at this very moment is a good time to strike at the Shroud, and not what we heard Nix did, but the actual Shroud.
Strange. No one has seemed to struck at me. It's like I'm not important.
Are you kidding? You've been shot at 3 goddamn times.
I'm kidding, Steam.
All right,
Please.
well, I'm a little jumpy. I'm punchy today.
I can see. Please, have a seat.
I would not. I don't sit a lot.
And drink.
I
some
don't drink
water.
ever. I don't want to.
You see OC walk out with the bottle like this much left, with her arm around Nye's waist, just walking out, meeting you guys.
Who is that?
It's Nye. He's gonna stop. He's gonna walk up to the two of them and look at OC, look at Nye, and he says, "I know this isn't going to end well, OC, but can I speak with Nye alone for a moment?"
She's going to begrudgingly just nod, but she'll grab Nye's arm gently first. What did she say to you?
That it's temporary.
Yep.
I know. We'll talk later. Would you mind?
And she goes with Steam.
As soon as I'm not too concerned about being out of earshot. It's more proprietary, that just being separate.
Right.
Where are the others? Nancy, Hazel
Mary.
Eyes, Mary, whatever her name is. I played so many goddamn games today. Yes, Mary, Blue Eyes.
They're here. They're all here.
What do they think of the deal the sister gave you?
It brought me peace.
Well, good. What happens to you now? You said it's temporary, but you didn't say that you would be here.
Look, simply put, it is temporary. I'm whole again. More so. And she looks over longingly at OC for just a second. But this fleeting moment won't last beyond the night.
Then waste no time with me. Rejoin her. But I ask just one question. Can you see what's in her? Can you see what's in me?
That doesn't matter to me.
I know. But can you see it?
She shakes her head. I don't need to. I don't want to. This is what there? Your divinity? Is that what you're thinking? I overheard everything. Your little exchange with whatever that thing is. It doesn't... None of it matters.
Can you see it?
Mary says that you are an angry man, and that I shouldn't spend any more time with you.
Mary is right. That's why she's my favorite.
And she moves back to OC.
Nye?
It's temporary. We have a lot of explaining to do. But first, we need to find out who did this. And she's going to look to Steam while she's talking to... I almost said Constable. I swear to God. She looks over to Bowerstone. She looks between the two of them. They attacked my girls. They attacked my... Someone needs to pay for this. Steam is right that I need to keep a level head. And he is lucky that Nye is here. And I can have that for right now. But we need to figure this out today. Because I have an important decision to make tonight.
Yeah.
As soon as these assholes get here, we will be able to...
The children are here, right? You said they came back?
Yeah, they came back.
She's going to lead them up onto the roof while we wait. And just sit with them and attune with them. With Nye sitting there with us. They'll practice attuning to her, like looking at her and just kind of keep them busy.
So it's when you attune this time, because this is the first time that you're seeing Nye in her back to her normal state, and you are actively using this skill, this ability that you have acquired over this time to get to this point. You notice some really interesting things. You see that she is completely, her visual spectrum is completely Nye. It's totally her. However, you can see that there is like a diffused or like a vibrating kind of outline around her spirit possessing this young woman's body, and it's clear that from the energy that you saw transferred between the old woman to Nye, that's what this is. And as you're watching it, you can see little bits of it begin to decay. And I'm assuming you're waiting for your crows to return?
I'm going to leave before then.
Really?
Whoa.
You have your own business to deal with, Steam. And I have some people to meet.
Where's your protection? Where's Nyx? Where are the stone cloaks?
I'm leaving before Nyx gets here. I'm meeting some people that he may have an interest with, and I don't want him meddling.
You're going
I can't
by yourself.
I'm a big boy.
They've tried to kill an alderman 3 times. You're not that big.
At the end of the day, Steam, this is all coming to a conclusion. I don't know if you can feel it.
Oh, I can. I felt it since before we met, Alderman. But don't rush it. The last couple pages are the most delicious.
And I have answers
Enjoy your
that I
stay.
need. Steam,
Wait, and I'll come with you.
I have to do this alone.
You don't have to do anything alone, Raymond.
I'm
That's
going.
where you're wrong. You may be the last of your line, but you are not.
I'm not the last.
Yeah.
There is another. And I must find the ones that have the answers.
Then wait. Let me come with you. Me, OC, whoever the fuck Nix is.
If you come, it will complicate things even more.
It may keep
I'm
you
not
alive.
going there for a fight. If they want to kill me, then in the end, they would have done that.
You're making it easy for them, Raymond.
I didn't get out of prison on my own. If they
Why
want
did
to
they
be
let
dead,
you out then? No, they
I'm
want
guessing
you
they
to
have a
work
deal.
for them.
Survival, Steam.
Survival? That almost sounds like a goodbye, Raymond.
I don't know what they're going to offer.
Interesting.
But I need to find out who I am and where the other Bowerstone is.
You never struck me as the person to go shopping for deals.
Times have changed.
Buying retail now, are we? Very well. You know where to find me.
I hope that you succeed in whatever you're planning today.
You shall know if I do.
Tell
As
OC and Nye. I'll see them soon.
As you begin to try to extract yourself, though, crows begin to arrive at the tower.
It seems that fate has intervened, my friend.
Doesn't it always?
Where's
That's
Nix?
why it's called fate.
Gives me a right dicking.
So, where's Nix in all this?
I mean, I assume this kind of happened sequential with him, or at the same time as him going to the Path of Echoes.
Okay, so what happens after the Pact of Echoes then?
Man, he has no idea they'd be at the Crow's Nest right now. So he would likely go to Eden, since Charter Hall's like in 6 Towers. So yeah, he would likely go back to Eden.
Okay, so you find it empty, and the books are gone.
Empty as in the other bodies that are hidden there are not there anymore?
There's nobody there besides the Valen body. It's stringed up.
And
Who was the other one?
Marik.
There was somebody. Marik. Okay.
Okay.
Marik is also bleeding there.
Good. Yeah, he flicks some water at them, and he feeds them, like the pets they are. And then he goes into the room that had all of the books in it, and sees that they are
Gone.
absent. And he kind of he does a cursory look around the room to see if they were filed away neatly. And then he sighs, walks over to the other room where Marik is, and that flashback that I told you about, Johnny, he opens the jacket of Marik, and he pulls out folded paperwork and unfolds the 4 final pages of each of the 1 books, and then folds them back up
Cocksucker.
and puts them in his jacket. He puts them inside his jacket, and he smiles and whistles the same tune that he heard in the Path of Echoes, and walks to the Crow's Nest.
Okay. So, Nix, as you are arriving at the path, you're going back to the Path of
I'm
Echoes?
sorry, no, the Crow's Nest.
Okay, all right.
He whistles the tune from the Path of Echoes.
Okay.
Whatever that thing was in the distance.
Okay. So, You arrive as the crows are beginning to filter into, in a non sort of obvious kind of way into the crow's nest.
Yeah, he doesn't know. He doesn't think anything of it. So they're just crows.
You seem to you seem to see that there's something amiss, but you don't know what's going on otherwise.
Yeah, he just strolls in past all of them.
OC's on the roof. As she sees them walking in, she'll look to the kids. Stay up here for now. Practice your studies. And then she'll put a hand out to Nye. Shall we?
It's slipping. We don't have much time.
She's gonna... we were all sitting, so she'll sit next to her for a second.
Would Steam have heard that?
We're on the roof. You're not. You're down there talking to Bowerstone, I thought.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if we were in the same vicinity.
I mean, unless you came up to the roof after. But, she would look to Nye. What do you want me to do here? You know the offer.
I want you to do what you think is right. What they're offering is... It's everything and nothing. It is everything that you could ever want. But your choices are not all your own should you follow this path.
What do you mean by that?
You would become the next sister. Choices like this are often offered, as a young woman becomes old and has the experiences. That was the training that they offered you. You would return to them, and they would become you, and you would become them.
It's everything I ever went against.
And she looks at you and kind of gives you a sort of a hemming and hawing kind of a, it's not that simple. Their choices in how they told you things or didn't tell you things, those were wrong, but they cared enough to make sure that you were safe. They took responsibility for you.
By lying to me all these years, by using you against me. I was my best self when you were here. You saw what happened when you left.
And they are offering you the opportunity to never be apart again. That is what's on the table. And I have lived and died and lived again long enough in this existence to know that
word of our community's acclaim spreads.
Sometimes the decision ultimately comes down to a whim. There is no right answer here. And she looks around for a second, and she looks at her hands. And she raises her hand and cups your cheek. I will always love you, and I will always be here. But I will not always be with you.
What would you have me do? You say it's my choice. It's not just my choice. You will return to what you were if I decide otherwise. These people that say
had-
they protect you.
What happened in that explosion and that subsequent journey back to you was the most painful thing that I've ever experienced, living or dead. Out of that has come a sense of belonging. So I can accept that existence. But that's not the same as being with you. You are the best of me. And without me, it seems you were diminished.
She looks to the children. I think we all know what that did to me. We must go and deal with this. Come with me. Our last adventure. Maybe.
And she steps up. It's fading. Whatever your decision, I respect it, and I believe in you. But if it doesn't come to pass, and you choose not to accept, I understand. Just let Mary know that I said it's okay to not be angry with you. She'll know what I mean. And with that attuned, you begin to see even more of the exterior energy, the outline of her diminishing even more. And there are tears in her eyes. She says, I think we must go. As you can hear, there's a hell of a stir beginning below you. And we're going to cut to... I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, she's going to wipe back her tears and head down the stairs with a pissed off face.
You come downstairs to find Steam and Bowerstone surrounded by a carousing large group of crows, men and women, 200 in number, with Nyx just coming up the stairs along with some group of them. And there appears to be a lot of angry sentiment in the crowd, Steam.
Is Gillis there?
He is.
Steam walks to the center of the space. I'm assuming around the moon pit or whatever that thing is. So, a lot of people all of a sudden have opinions on how the crows should be run. Yet, and he indicates the pit, none of you are currently residing at the bottom of this goddamn hole. Also hear that we have some budding thespians in the audience. I certainly would like to see your performance. I believe you call it Fight at the Docks, if the author is to be believed.
As OC walks in, I thought so too. As fitting as that is, we walk in as the lesbians walk in.
Thespians.
OC is going to walk behind him and point to Nye. Like that. You wished her quiet?
Everyone apparently likes to do their work in the shadows. I can appreciate that. But we are not in the shadows now. We are in a forum for discussion. Normally, I would line you up and kill you all, but I am giving you the option to speak and voice your opinions. You have been crows longer than me. I am, of course, the crow, but let me humor you. What is wrong? Who got to you? Which cowards among you?
You are wrong.
Oh, who's that?
As you hear a voice step up behind you.
Yes.
Through the crowd, another rather large individual steps up and says, "You are wrong." And it is a spitting image of Gillis, his twin.
Oh, fucking fabulous. Gillis, is this your brother?
I don't have a brother. I don't know what's going on here.
Oh, for fuck's sake. All right. Since I can, if any supernatural shit is anywhere near me, I know it.
Oh yeah, right in front of you.
Right.
I'm still attuned. Would I see anything?
You know exactly what you see.
What do we see?
You see a one-armed little fucking bitch standing right in front of me.
No.
No? Oh, I thought that's who it was. Oh, you fucked up, Johnny. I'm gonna go.
Oh no. This is not how that goes. That one's still waiting for you in the wings, buddy.
Okay. What do I see? I thought it was a one-armed girl.
So you see the physical shape that you see is that of a 6'6" large man. What you see if you're attuned is a very thin form, 5'5", wearing 6'6" skin. And it giggles at you. And it's got a sing-song kind of a voice as it giggles. You're what's wrong with this. And it kind of shrinks a little bit.
Others? I ignore it. I'm scanning for other.
No.
Okay. I point to the crows. Everyone step away from that thing. Now.
Oh no, they're gonna hang with me. They're gonna do what I asked them to, as a couple of them begin to step up. As it continues to kind of reform and get smaller, and the shape of Gillis's face begins to disappear from it, as you can see more of a sort of a smaller shape kind of beginning to appear, a much younger sort of a youthful teenage almost looking face.
All right, well, let's try it like this. Everyone that's standing with that thing, stand with that thing. Everything that doesn't want to be associated with that thing, get over on this side.
Everything steps forward.
Things on this side. Get over here.
Okay, so like 200 crows are with that person, and me and Gillis are...
Everything steps forward. Everyone in the room that is not the party steps forward.
How many people would you say?
200.
Are they ensorcelled? Can I tell if they are under some type of compulsion?
Yes.
Oh, excellent. What a great trick. What's your game here? You have control of the crows.
It's not really my thing.
Me either.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, I was able to easily take care of her. That one.
Don't flatter yourself.
That one, and that one. And...
Use mind control, for Christ's sakes.
It's not really mind control.
That's like saying the pants bent to your will as you put them on.
I appealed to their baser instincts.
What do you want?
Well, chaos, really.
Oh, great.
My employer thinks that it's time for you to go.
Are you going to be a coward and hide behind a title, or are you going to tell me who your employer is, since I'm about ready to leave anyway?
Are you?
Am I?
Because clearly you look like you're looking for a fight.
I'm not looking for a fight at all. Do I have blades in my hands? Are you bleeding on the floor, dying, gasping up and looking at me? No.
That's cute. That's really cute. I see the fear. It's okay. It's okay to be afraid. Bowerstone's afraid.
Of a demon?
Yeah. Why you gotta go with labels? Can't you at least use my name? Oh, you don't know my name. That's right.
No, I don't.
Well, you can call me Al.
I've got a couple other names for you. I will say Al, but I will think something else.
It's whatever. It's okay.
Right. You can suck my Al.
It's cute.
They get better when I'm drunker.
So are we going to just keep trying to have a battle of wits? I mean, it's really not working. I mean,
it
clearly,
isn't.
You are outclassed, so.
Well, clearly. Well, what is your game? You've taken over the crows.
Oh, no, I haven't.
You want chaos? What a novel a pursuit. Chaos. Well, go ahead. Have your chaos.
Okay, let's step outside. Actually, there's a roof. Let's go to the roof. I think everybody would like it if we went to the roof. And there was some nodding of agreements around the entire crowd.
The roof.
OC's going to step forward when she says that because the kids are up there. You come into the crow's nest. You seek a fight. And she's going to use her ghost voice.
Ooh, that was really creepy.
You come here. What do you hope to gain from this? Just to kill him? To kill all of us?
Oh no. This isn't about death. It's really you need to go.
Well, then we do the fighting here, as the crows do.
You begin to feel the press of bodies against you as you realize that the crows around you are pressing in against you and Nye.
What's your game?
Puppets, adults are talking here.
He's not a puppet.
Oh, clearly. That's the puppet master over there.
Oh yeah, no, we established that, but he screwed up. But like, I'm not hearing much that's really going on. I'm hearing a lot of this.
The mistake of the performer gets exhibited by the actual puppet itself.
Yeah, I'm learning. It's quite good. I'm hearing a lot of this though, and really, I'm just like, what's your deal?
Fine.
I gotta be somewhere. I've got 5 minutes.
And by this time, he's finished transforming, and it is the spitting image of one of the children that you see standing in front of you now. One of the Taikirosi children.
You can beat the shit out of a kid, can't you?
I can beat the shit out of a demon.
Well, go on. I've got 5 minutes.
You see the 10-year-old boy looking at you. Yeah, I still don't believe you. You keep saying a lot of things, but you don't take any action. I was asking to go upstairs for a fight. I like a good fight in the open air. I like to breathe.
Then let's go outside the front door. You don't get to walk through my area and stink it up with your demon shit. Let's go outside.
Oh, I want to. Upstairs. And he begins to move forward, and everybody sort of parts around him as he moves towards the stairs, towards OC.
As they part, she's going to sash him in the neck. Using as someone goes to move, she's going to whip around.
Roll it.
I mean, I just wanted brunch.
You're going to get it, buddy, right after we kill this guy.
Good.
Skirmish?
Sure.
Okay. And?
Position is definitely risky.
Okay. Can you put the things, Mike?
Yep, he's up.
Video. Okay.
Definitely going to be risky, and I think the effect is going to be limited unless you can argue why it's not going to be limited, because you're essentially trying to get him in a crowd. Like, the crowd's partying, but you're still there's still a tight space essentially for you to be able to move with this sash.
Yeah, she doesn't care who it hits on the way.
Okay.
The objective, she's not trying to be careful, other than her two people with her in the party. She's just going for the neck to pull him into the pit to buy herself, time.
Okay.
So I guess limited. Do I have anything to bump that up? That's what I was asking.
I don't know. Do you have anything to bump that up? Do you want a devil's bargain or push yourself? You mean
Yeah,
from a
that's what I was
one.
asking you to post. Sorry.
I did not.
I'm definitely gonna push myself. My bad. I was
Nope,
not
it's all good.
descriptive enough.
Yep.
I'm gonna use one of my crits.
Okay.
Season 3.
What are you aiming for?
His throat.
Okay. And as you kind of swing it out, it wraps around his throat using one of your crits. Okay, yeah, that looks nice on my skin, but really not a good idea to do that to a little boy, don't you think? That's kind of abusive.
She's going to look to Steam. Does he still have the dagger? Would she know if he still had it?
I don't know. Does he still have the dagger?
He does.
She's going to. Okay. Would she know where it is on your person?
It's down my pants.
Oh,
She's
the
gonna
dagger-
get
the
it.
dagger's
She going to reach.
OC gets action 2 times tonight.
She
Jesus.
just wants the dagger. If she grazes something
They
on the
all
way,
want the oh, yes.
she's still.
Who doesn't these days?
Yeah.
So what's going on here, guys?
She'll look to Steam and put her hand out.
No. This little boy who wants chaos is going to leave now. And he's going to take his crows with him and do his chaos shit outside. And he's not going to sully my room anymore.
Unwraps the sash, kind of. This would make a good coat. Really, you should.
She's gonna
Maybe
yank it back because she's still holding the other end.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you want that back? I mean,
This is the chaotic fashion designer. Be careful. It's nothing but chaos and fine fabrics.
So
Who can
are
stop him?
are we going upstairs, or do we need to start here now?
So let me get this straight. You took over the crows to come here and fight me.
I gave them what they wanted.
Oh, bullshit.
Really? They don't like you very much. You haven't spent much time with them. You've spent this.
I've been here all the time.
Spending time with your flock. That's not advancing the crows. They want money. They want women. They want men. They want alcohol. They want their drugs. They want profit.
They've had it all and more. And they're not pirates, they're crows.
See, there's a bunch of traffic that goes through Crow's Foot. That's what they tell me.
Oh, well, then you want to be the leader of the crows, then.
No. You misunderstand. My employer doesn't want anything of the sort.
Who is your employer, little boy?
That's not even...
None of my business. I work
No,
for
it's not
somebody.
important. It's not important right now. What's important is that we go upstairs and have a fight. I want to fight. It feels good to fight.
Does it? Then go outside and beat up yourself, Owl. You'll find no fight here.
At that moment, he moves forward quickly and hits OC in the stomach.
She takes it like a champ.
Taking level 1 harm.
Fuck it.
All right, he knocks you back against the wall. And it hurts. Okay. He looks back to Steam. We're gonna get started.
She looks past him. He even fights like a little boy.
It looked like it. He fights like a little owl.
Continues to walk up the stairs. I guess I'll just go kick some children off of the roof then. And begins to move up the stairs.
Owl,
Not
How much
listening.
how much is your employer paying you to die?
Steps up the last bit of the stairs that you can see, and is now on the roof, and you can hear his feet crunching against the roof.
He pulls the dagger out.
Okay.
Is Al short for Allison?
OC followed him up as she's standing between him and the children. She darted between if she could.
Don't worry about it.
Oh no, he holds you back and clotheslines you as you try to get past him, knocking you on your ass without hurting you much otherwise. Did you think that was going to go better than you did you really? Oh, okay, all right. I'm waiting, Steam.
You want to hurt the children, Al? Is that it?
Oh no, I want to hurt you.
I'm right here.
No, you're downstairs. I hear your voice, but I don't see you.
Why don't you come down and join me? At that moment, he's hit by 400 pounds of dire pug as Goat slams the fuck into him.
Oh, I'm sorry. Was your pug supposed to do something?
OC, remember when I spoke about what we had talked about not being predictable?
Steam, if you had given me the dagger, he'd be dead already. Go help the children.
Right. Okay, if he kills me, pick up the dagger, break it off in him, and kill him.
Obviously.
Right, and if you can figure out who he's working for before you do it, please do so. And tell Goat I'm sorry. And if you see my sister, tell her I went out the way that she would appreciate fighting a little boy named Al.
Your children are about to meet a similar fate if you don't.
So the kids are trying to defend themselves as he's walking towards them. They're all taking defensive stances.
Yeah, I'm up there. With reflexes, I can clear the steps in a beat.
Okay.
We're not on the roof yet. You wanted the roof, correct, Al?
I thought the children were on the roof.
Oh, no. This motherfucker goes higher.
Okay, let's go. Mr. Bowerstone, Mr. Desterosi. OC, is it? Please join us. Let's make this an affair to remember.
If the children can go downstairs. Unharmed by your men, of course, since you need them.
Men? Did I bring anybody up here? None of the crows actually followed.
The children will be down there with them.
Leave them here. We're going up one more level.
So describe to us, Steam, what that rooftop looks like.
It's a flat space on the top of the clock tower. It was used in, ideally, I guess, as a watchtower back when it was the watchtower of Crow's Foot. It's about the width of half of one of the floors below it, but it is flat. It is a space, and there is a bucket of radiant plant ash in the corner.
Okay.
It's covered to protect it from the wind and the elements.
Okay.
We are outside, Al. I am shivering with anticipation.
Where are Nix and Bowerstone?
Not enjoying brunch. I head up.
Please tell me you're still holding the cup, though, of tea. You're still
It's just like, muffin on one hand, drink a bit. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, Nix has no idea what's happening, and was casually whistling his tune until he got pointed out, and he's like...
Yeah, you admit we gotta go help him.
This wasn't how I expected my day to go.
Tell me about that 2 days ago, you bastard. Get up there.
We're having that talk later, children.
Well, after you. And he begins to casually walk up the stairs.
Okay. So about what's the area? What's the actual area of the that we're talking about, Steam?
The big space downstairs was described as 40 by 40 when we first came in. So this would be about 20 by 20.
Okay, I just wanted to confirm that was what you were describing in your head. Okay, so he moves up. You know, the stairway, I guess, is kind of along the outside of the tower, and he kind of moves up, and stands in the center. Who's first?
Oh, I thought you wanted an audience. What is...
I'm going to kill him.
That's a child. Steam.
Well, use your eyes. Nix.
What have you done while I was gone?
Let's not talk about things that we've done while we've been apart.
Pretty sure he started breeding.
He is not a
Word of
child.
our community's
Why do you
acclaim
think the crows are
spreads.
fighting? Put 2 and 2 together, man.
He's a demon, big boy.
That's inconvenient.
Hmm.
Well, after you. Remember what I said.
OC is going to attune a little bit
Okay.
and just punch him as hard as she can in the face
No.
with her ability.
Roll the shit out of that.
Mhm.
Unless you want to use a crit.
I'm going to use a crit because I want him to at least fly into a wall.
So, Steam, describe to me what the rest of the tower looks like, or what the roof of the tower looks like. Is there walls? Are there columns?
Yeah,
Describe it.
Yeah, there would be like a 1.5 2 foot tall catch-all with like a wrought iron kind of decorative railing around the top. Originally, it would just been the 2 foot catch-all when it was a guard tower, but when it became a clock tower, the additional little were put on there. So it's got like a little bit of a fencing around it. About all total about 3.5 feet tall.
Okay. So you knock him back, right? And it's, he's kind of like, oh, that was really kind of neat.
You can
After
hit
that, I'm going to
defenseless.
follow up
Okay.
by
a
slipping
crit?
into the. Yeah.
Yeah, she's
By
yelling at
slipping
him.
into the slipping into the
Yep.
ghost field. Is it? Wait, are you critting to go to attune, or are you? What are you doing specifically?
No, so I'm going to use the Ghost Veil
Okay.
to slip in.
Okay.
And then I'm going to use a crit to follow up against OC's, attack him against the wall, and then he's going to come in with his elbow and.
Roll me a fortune roll.
Oh, yeah. My
The
favorite
fortune
thing.
roll is just to figure out if you actually can take this action, or whether you come out of the trance pattern.
Oh, I thought I've been out of it.
Not.
This has been weeks, hasn't it?
No, it's only been almost a week. But you described
sweet.
it as you were still under the control when you were in.
No, coming out of the effects.
Yeah.
So you just still described it as you were still feeling the
That's
effects
okay
of
then.
it.
Endowment.
So what do you want? How many dice? Because I think
Well-
at this point it's very low for how long it's been.
What do you guys think? It's one for sheer luck. What else is in its favor?
Fuck nothing at that point. It's been a week.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
All right, we'll roll it then.
Tickle and a sneeze, and here we go.
Fuck.
Wow.
Yeah, that happened.
Season 3, fuck it.
So you fail, and the madness returns in full force. How does that affect your attacking him?
It would almost, as soon as he goes in for the attack, you'd see the face of his mother appear before him. So as he goes to strike, he stops immediately and drops, not wanting to smash his mother in the face,
Okay.
and paralyzed him for a little bit as he tries to regain his thoughts.
Okay. So roll me your attack then.
Any positions? Or rather, which position?
you are. This is a controlled. So this is a risky situation, given the fact that you're out. But he's not resisting your attack.
Yeah.
So because you're following up on what OC did. So OC kind of knocks him back. He falls against the wrought iron gate and lip of the stone, and you come in and you do a kick. But as you're kind of doing this and you're entering the ghost veil, you shock yourself out of whatever control that you had. And so from then, that becomes whatever your attack is, whether it's a kick or whatever, and you just position is risky because you are now out of
What it
control,
is.
essentially.
Yeah. A fixed standard?
Sure.
Cool. I'm not taking any bonus dice. I'll take that 6 though.
All right. So you kind of kick him, and for the first time, you see a little bit of trickle of blood kind of dripping down the child's face.
Hell yeah, kick kids. That's how you win the game.
And he gets up and he's like, oh, that's it's not bad, Bowerstone. And he moves up and he kicks you off the tower. Now you can roll to resist this. But he basically steps up, and when he kicks you in the belly, and it's this is Sparta kind of moment, where he just basically kicks you hard enough so that you begin to fly and fall off the tower. So you can resist this. But there will be some serious damage that comes into this.
Instead of that, could I take Ghost Veil for an extra 2 stress and fly?
You are... What's that, Greg? 3 stress.
3 stress. Oh, yeah, that's true.
So what you want to do is, instead of trying to resist the damage and falling off, you want to fly.
Yeah. So I'll still take the damage.
You're not going to resist. Are you sure you're not going to resist the damage? I just want to be clear about this.
What type of harm are we talking about? Would it be?
We're talking about level 2 harm. We're talking broken ribs.
I can't afford that. I'm going to have to resist it. I really can't afford that.
Okay. So, what are you rolling to resist?
I'm going to go skirmish.
Okay. No, it's one of your attributes, not one of your actions.
Rather, prowess.
Okay.
Prowess. 5.
Okay. So, 5, you basically take 1 stress to resist and take level 1 harm, and you have essentially a bruised abdomen as he begins to kick you, and you're flying off, and you're able to move enough to be able to kind of take the brunt of it. And it's as you're beginning to kind of fall back that somebody reaches out and grabs you, and it's the old man who is the archivist of the crows, kind of grabbing you off of grabbing you in the air and just kind of pulling you back in and throwing you down and looking around. Steam, how may I aid you?
Write this down. And Steam attacks.
How are you making your attack?
He's coming in with the dagger, and he is going straight for the head. He's coming in sideways to go hilt deep in this guy's temple.
Okay.
And I am critting the shit out of this.
Okay. So, this is one of those situations where, because you're using a crit, it's going to hit. But I want to see what ultimately is going to happen. So I'd like to roll a fortune roll to see whether he full on dies or what happens next.
Sure.
So +1 or shoot 1 die for sheer luck in the favor of the party or the crew. 1 for the dagger, which kills demons. What else is in your favor, guys?
Season
We
3
weakened
fuck
him?
it.
No season 3 fuck it in this
We
case.
weakened him?
You got through the progress clock that was his protection with the crit and everything else. So
I don't want to be that
3.
guy, but the dagger only kills demons in a certain way.
You have to break it off.
If
I understand
used in a
that.
certain way.
Yep.
Haven't said I was going to do that part yet.
3.
So 3.
Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, I don't have anything else.
Not got nothing.
All right, I'm not going to add any negatives. I'm just going to let it stand because I want to see what happens, and I want Steam to roll it. Don't forget to add a quippy message.
That's a good message.
Okay. Blade goes into his temple. What does it do to him, Steam? Like, what happens?
I think it makes him realize that he fucked up. And in that moment where the life is this eternal life that he believed would always be there, causing this arrogance and this ability to think that he even had a chance against the 4 of us, when he rams that dagger, which is basically right behind his eyes at this point, Steam gets right up in his face and just
just puts the force ready to snap that blade off as his entire body kind of goes limp, but he still has him aloft. He's still holding the body up as he gets close, and he says, "Your employer just cost you your life. Why don't you give me his name and I will repay the favor?"
You know him. He expects you.
Humor me with a name. I have a lot of people I don't like and a lot of people that don't like me.
Every time you kill him, he comes back even more interesting, doesn't he?
Chaos?
I'm just a distraction.
Your life is worth a distraction.
My life is worth what he's going to do.
OC walks over, puts her hand on his, and snaps the dagger off.
Whoa. I'm going to resist that. I'm resisting
You
that.
can resist it. She's still going to do it. She's
So
mad.
who's technically going to win here?
It's
find
going to
out.
be me. No, I'm full on resisting that. I do not want that dagger snap.
Roll it.
Oh, wait, hold on a second. This is technically PvP, guys. Are we good with it being a straight resistance roll?
What, a roll against her skirmish?
No, it's a resistance roll. You're essentially resisting her ability, her desire to snap it. So you're just resisting her effort, her strength, essentially, her physical strength.
I'm resisting with prowess.
Okay. Well,
So I think, to be fair, it should be a skirmish roll to see if she is even able to snap it off. And then if she is able to attempt to snap it off, he can roll resistance. Because she could go to snap it off and roll a 1.
Okay,
Or
fair
a
enough.
series of 1s.
So you want me to roll?
I-
Why don't we let him roll first, and then I'll...
No,
I mean, she might roll
think
one.
Mike's.
She might
think
snap
Mike's
something
right.
else off.
I mean, you guys could also describe or decide this in another narrative way if you want to, right? And not have to do rolls at all. But if there want, I mean, or we could even do a fortune roll. But again, this is technically PvP, so ultimately it has to be something that the two of you are okay with.
I
So-
don't want to waste this dagger on him.
So from OC's standpoint, he was the cause of her girls being injured.
Actually-
He's the cause of in her. Okay.
So not to jump in there, but here's the solution. You don't know that. Nyx is the only one that knows that, and the only person he told was Steam. You have no idea that you can snap the blade off or that it does anything. Nyx didn't tell anyone, and he whispered it to Steam when he handed it to him alone.
She knows
in the
that
room.
dagger kills him, and she knows that he's not dead right now.
Right, but you wouldn't. Why would you snap it off though? That isn't. You wouldn't know to snap that off.
Okay.
Right? Like you wouldn't. Would
I
she-
disagree,
Okay.
but okay.
I'll take a roll. I'll take a
Nope, it's
skirmish.
fine.
Do a post.
No, I'm not gonna roll then. Go ahead.
Well, okay, hold on a second. I don't want to take away your instinct though.
Right. That's
in
what
this
I
particular.
want. I want that to play itself out.
Yeah, because you did. Worst case, you did see Nyx use the. He did. Snap
Yes,
the
that's
blade
why
off
she. That was gonna be my argument. But if you guys are that against it, I don't even want it. to be
No.
like-
I think
I'm not.
I know. I think that
it's something I don't want to do because it'll fuck us over. But OC is not thinking straight, and she's pissed.
So do it.
So-
No, that's why I want to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, roll it.
And I think there's a justification for you doing it for the very reason that you saw Nyx to snap off the spearhead. I think that completely makes sense.
Like he's taking time away from me seeing Nye possibly for the rest of my life, and he beat up my girls. So
Yeah.
she's not,
So I want to be very clear about this. You don't actually know
Enjoy
that
your
he's
stay.
responsible for the attack on your.
She assumes because he came back with all the crows, and Steam said, "Oh, my crows, were fighting, and they were dressed as dock workers." And my person said, "Oh, it was dock workers." So in her mind, it's, these guys.
Yeah, and I could see how OC would jump to that conclusion. I just wanted to be very clear about that because
She doesn't know that. She's just
Right, exactly.
she knows that in her head.
and that fits really well within OC's narrative of being that hot-headed. I'm going to take care of this in any means necessary kind of a thing. So that's awesome. Go
So
for it.
And
James,
he-
how do you want
he
to do
said-
this?
I don't know. I think we should just do opposing rolls like we did when we fought. But
You want to roll your skirmish? You have 4 in skirmish, right?
yeah,
You roll your 4 in skirmish. I'll roll my 4 in prowess. We'll see how the hell we do.
straight with no
No chaser.
Yep.
Place your bets now.
Fuck. A good roll.
Show. Oh yeah, you are. Okay.
Oh,
So wait a minute, before we resolve this in any other way, shape, or form, I just want to be very clear about this.
That means she's able to snap it.
Wait a minute. I just want to be very clear. Well, okay, wait a minute. I thought this was you rolling to snap it, which you did, and then him rolling to resist it,
Which he did not.
which he did not. Which, if I'm looking at the rolls correctly, I just want to be very clear about this.
If you say
Technically, that means
technically,
you
I
won?
swear to God.
Technically, who won? All right. Anyways, okay. So the blade snaps.
Also, I have 15, so technically and non-technically, I won.
So
Are you crying? Do tears come out when Steam cries, or does what comes out?
I actually want to know what Tom Hardy sounds like when he cries.
Manly as hell.
Ooh, boo hoo hoo.
So the blade snaps off. And that intimidation that Steam was pushing towards Al, that realization hits his face really quickly. It dances across his face for a second. That death is really here. And for a second, you see the features of this child change such that it's in surprise, and there's fear in his eyes, and then those eyes go cold, and the body begins to slowly shift into its original form, and it is that of a Taikarosi man. About 20, blonde hair, demon marks all over his body.
Steam throws him off.
The archivist looks at you and says, "We heard the commotion. Gillis sent for me. I'm sorry that I was late. What happened?"
Al wanted chaos. We obliged him.
He used a name. We heard a name. He used a name. Or you used a name. Somebody. There's been somebody asking to buy us off with that name. I didn't have time to bring it to you until just now. I'm so sorry.
Are the rest of the crows, like, okay now?
So you see a number of them starting to head up, and their blades are drawn. When they see you, there is reverence back in their attitude. Like there's difference, right? The moment that they see you kind of, emerging back down from the roof with OC and Nyx and Bowerstone, they start to sheath their blades and kind of, there is this confusion also in their faces.
On his way down from his own stash, Steam begins handing coin out to the trusted capos and lieutenants of the crows.
Okay.
And he's telling them,
Everyone. Spirit Bane and Demon Bane charms. Everyone. We're at war, my good friends. And there will be bribes, people that want to pay us to go against one another because they know we're winning. We do not trust the Sashes. We do not trust the Lampblacks. No one at the docks. No one named Chaos. The one that took control of all of you is laying at the bottom of these steps because OC killed it. We have no fear of these demons. Not anymore. We will arm ourselves and the crows will rule this and every other part of this city. Isn't that right, Alderman?
Yes.
See, we have political backing.
If you have any grievances moving forward, go to your leader.
When you say that, there's a little bit of fear that plays through those that can see you. As they accept the coin from Steam and begin to leave. As you're looking around, you see that Nye is back in Steam's private chambers, laying on the bed, crying.
I have a joke, but I will keep it inside.
The children are also confused and looking to Steam for guidance.
He goes over and sits down with them and calls Goat over, and he says to them all, and that was tonight's lesson. They will always come. In every guise, in every cloth, to kill us. And why? Because they're scared. Our job is to not make them fear us more. Our job is to show them we are the way back to the light. And that demon and any other that dares follow in its footsteps will put us one step closer. And he kind of sits down with them and draws them close and is just with them, just as one of them, as a Taikarosi.
Okay.
OC will look around, shrug, and start to walk down the steps to go back to Nye.
Where is your room, Steam?
2 floors below.
Yeah, it's
Right below. So we're up here. This is the actual roof that the kids were sitting on, and then the chambers are right below that.
So are we on
He's the top floor
the moon
of the
door
actual
thing?
building.
that's one more down.
Your room's one more down than the moon door thing?
No, it's my room, and then the moon door is one more down from that.
Okay. Okay, that's cool. I didn't understand the layout of the place we're in, so I just wanted to get a picture of this. That was it.
You go back to Nye. What is Bowerstone doing?
Technically late for a meeting, which I will leave to go to. Watching over Steam and him interacting with essentially his family, OC going to hers. Raymond is going to go and find answers on his own.
I can't even comment. All right, so we're gonna end on OC as you walk into the room. She's laying on the cot or bed or whatever it is that he has in his private chamber there. You know, and she's crying. And when she hears you enter your footsteps, she looks up, and you can see through the tears that the color is shifting between blue and brown.
Mary.
Not yet. And she blinks, and she's trying to blink away the tears, and every time she blinks, the shift in the eyes goes from blue to brown to blue. It's time for me. I won't remember.
I know.
And she reaches her hand out towards you.
She'll take off her swords and put her sash down and join her and sit with her. I'll stay until you go. And then I will make my choice. I am sorry.
no matter what happens, I appreciate the time that we had. And she gets really quiet for a second. And the final shift happens. And the eyes go to blue. And again, they begin to well up with tears. And for the first time, you see Mary in there, not angry. And she pulls the hand back, and she sits up, and she's still crying. We're sorry.
Do you understand now?
We are sorry. And the tears just continue to stream. And behind you, from the doorway, you hear, I believe it's time to make a choice, dear. And that's where we're going to end it.
Good, I have another week to think about it.
I dig it.
What are you going to decide now?
At least I got laid, guys, right?
Did you really, though? We don't really know what happened behind closed doors. That was what we call movie magic.
Mm-hmm. Yep. We Dragon Aged that shit.
Sorry, Steam, you're going to want someone to come.
May have faded to black, but that shit was on surround sound.
I have cameras in that room. I will.
Wait, do you have somebody who can clean up all the biomess?
Gross.
Which one? The one on the upper roof or the one in his room?
That sounds gross. The way you said that. I don't like that. I don't like that.
Biomess. Oh, man.
Laying
Hey,
it.
man, I try.
Biodome with Polly Shore. Anyway, guys, that was it for Blades the 6 and 20 Blades in the Dark. This is, as I said, the third and final season of this. At the end of the season, we are moving on to something new called 6 and 20 Metropolis. There is a chat room in my Discord for that, guys. Go check that out. Posit what your ideas might be, what you think is going to happen, all that good stuff. Yeah. That was it. That was some shit. I think we have, what, 3 episodes left, Johnny?
4, I think it is.
Yeah, we have a number of episodes left.
This
This
is the end game, though. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, guys, if there's things you want to see, that are closed out, things that you forgot or think we forgot, let us know. Feel free. But for now, let's go around to our introductions, ask who these people are, and then we'll go rate a friend of ours. So, Johnny, who are you? What are you doing here? And what did you think of tonight's episode?
Johnny, Video Store Cowboy, run the Video Store Cowboy channel, run one of the shows for 6 and 20. What did I think of tonight's? I knew fairly quickly what I wanted to do after what you did last week. And I didn't want you to go directly to jail. I wanted it to be something different. I did not expect you to be so resistant there, Nix, and I didn't expect Raymond to be so pliable in some ways. So, and I had always planned that this was going to be the sort of resolution for Nye and OC in a lot of ways. So, I'm very curious now to hear what the ultimate decision is going to be. Because when Nye got her condition in season 2, it was always going to end with something like this. The fact that the Dimmer sisters actually died, though, added a wrinkle. Thank you very much.
Fuck them.
Season 3, #fuck it.
No, just them.
Speaking of the murder of the Dimmer sisters and OC's final decision, Mr. Ninja, who are you? What are you doing here? And what did you think of tonight's episode?
I am Xmas Ginger Ninja. I run a gaming channel. We do a little bit of tabletop. And you guys can catch me here every Wednesday, even for the new show that's going to be coming on Wednesdays after this one is done, which I'm very excited for. I drive a lot for work, and I sit there and I'm like, what would piss the rest of the group off most if I decided? And like, how can I be a real pain in the ass? That's all I got.
You nailed it today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I also didn't expect the arresting to go down that way. I also didn't expect Bowerstone to get arrested. I also didn't expect to have to kill Bowerstone by the end of season 3. So speaking of doing all those things, Slade, who are you? What are you doing here? And what did you think of tonight's episode?
Hey, I'm Slade. I'm the only male Casimir here without facial here, and I had a fantastic game. Especially with knowing how everything is intertwining for this conclusion. It's gonna end.
It's true,
Really
it's
badly.
gonna end.
It's gonna end. But yeah, you can find me on the Crit Dice Gaming channel. I'm a DM and host over there, so yeah, check me out.
Sweet. And last but definitely not least, Greg, you had a rough day. You came to 6 and 20. You had a rough day, and you got a little sassy. Who are you? What are you doing here? And what did you think of tonight's episode?
I had a lot of fun. This was definitely not Steam. This was Steam with sass, and
anger and frustration.
I took some liberties with Steam tonight. Fun doing it. As Slade will often say, I am Grimjack21502 on Twitch and the Twitters. I love playing this game. I love playing with these people. It's a lot of fun. I love the banter and the chaotic enigmas that every NPC we ever meet is, as they answer questions with questions, which drives me crazy, and Johnny knows it. No, but yeah, you can see me here, obviously, every Wednesday. I'm also on Encounter Roleplay. I'm DMing a Cthulhu campaign starting this Monday called Reign of Terror, in which Mike will be appearing, and it takes place during the French Revolution, which should be super duper fun. I'm also on their Nameless Horrors on Wednesdays at 1 to 4, and then my own channel, Grimjack21502, 7 to 9 on Sundays, doing 1933 Pulp Cthulhu Johnny. Yeah.
Are you like the Assassin's Creed of Cthulhu?
I
Like,
sort of am.
Yeah, you really run everything like in different like time periods. It's like the Assassin's Creed of Cthulhu. So I'm just I want to make sure.
Right. I just what's that thing that they plug into that they go back? Yeah.
The Animus.
The Animus. Yeah. I am the Animus. Yeah.
If you guys want to see more Cthulhu from the Assassin's Creed, the Animus of Cthulhu, I believe, don't quote me on this, sometime in February, in the region of Valentine's Day, there could be more Cthulhu on this channel, run by our very own Grimjack21502. So stay tuned for what's that?
A very Cthulhu Valentine?
It would be My Bloody Valentine. So the options, I think the options are Seeing Red, My Bloody Valentine, or St. Valentine's Day Massacre.
I think we should put it to a vote in the community.
Yeah.
I think it should be Getting Red, but that's just me.
Well, either way. Guys, we're going to go raid our friend Saber Dice that's currently playing over there. There's a bunch of YouTubers that do a bunch of D&D content on YouTube, and our good friend of the channel here, Will from Encounter Roleplay. You guys know him. You guys love him. Head over there, raid that channel. Tell them all your hot, sticky raid love from all of us. We will be here tomorrow, I hope, unless power goes out in my house because there's a blizzard. We'll be here tomorrow for Havoc in the Hinterlands. There's no stream on Friday, and this weekend I have military duty, so there's still no stream that days. But we'll be back on Tuesday for the first episode of the miniseries of Myth Dawn. And then that's it, guys.
I think we're done.